Of course. I'm in this situation. We've never been in that situation before.
Oh, it's a good time.
And you guys couldn't fucking take me down.
I was like whiffing all the rolls I needed to whiff, and then like the ones I'm like, oh, I got it, I don't need to put anything in until Ashi's like just like whips it out, slaps it on the table. It's just like,
That's
all right, let's
fine.
go.
The best inside joke.
Okay,
Just
I'll be
No,
teaching
but this is why we
more.
need to play in person more.
Okay, good.
The slapstick humor, I
Oh, yeah.
swear.
yeah, the body language helps too.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't always have the camera window open.
Mm,
Cause
I
like
always have it off to the side a little bit.
I've got my character sheet and like my Google Doc on my left screen. Then I've got Discord on my right screen, and then I've got the Twitch page behind it. So if I'm ever reading chat, I don't see y'all's faces.
Oh, so you're fancy and have multiple screens.
Ooh.
Okay. For some reason. I want to make it full.
Oh, while we're off camera, wish me luck, y'all.
Good
We're
luck.
house hunting, and
Oh, yeah?
yeah, we've had a couple of good ones get away from us already.
Oh,
It is a hard market.
A hard market.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, we've got a good offer and stuff, but like we can't match like a cash whip it out offer.
That's right.
Yet.
That's where a lot of these houses are going, to people who just say, shut the fuck up, I've got cash, take it.
Yeah. Which are
And sometimes
yeah, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, sometimes they even do it like 10, 20 grand over offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
like our agent was like trying to prepare us for it. Like Casey and I both looked at each other. It's like we're familiar with the concept. We played Final Fantasy 14. We didn't say it out loud, but we talked about it on the way back. Like, so we are prepared for hardship, but you know it's still disheartening.
Jesus. One of my...
Playing Final
Alright,
Fantasy
I
14 right now, and I'm
am
learning
now
hardship.
live. We're just doing the starting soon bit, and does anyone have anything else that they need to just go over real quick before we start?
I think I heard you and
Okay.
Kobe talking
Yes.
about spells at the beginning of it. So I don't know if
So
Discord
in
got
Discord, spells and abilities, the initial spell list is going to be there to show you all the list of spells from the initial game. While your group does not have access to all the spells, you do have access to pretty much all the spells of your respective 2 moonstones, and then some of you are currently learning a 3rd moonstone, and are getting another moonstone that you can even like immediately enchanted into your weapon through Shalu.
That's
I
right.
was talking about the custom spell that
Yes,
Father gave us.
I am a wise, powerful NPC, and I can make my own
Oof.
custom spells. In fact, I was telling our grand NPC here about this silver custom spell that I made that is unique. Why don't you tell
This
them all about
custom
this
spell,
custom
that
spell?
is soon to be named, it has the ability of basically being a setup counter. If you feel like you are about to take a big blast of something, if you have access to silver magic, specifically the farther end of the silver spectrum, like at least Roselium, if you have only access to Rhys, I think Ryzen, you could still do this, but like at a slight minor. It is a counter spell that if in sacrificing your action, you target yourself as the spell, and as a reaction, as long as you take 1 hit from an enemy that would set you over your consequence, or not over your consequence, but over your stress pool, you will use silver magic to knock yourself out and heal yourself back up, dodging the attack and healing your stress back up to full.
That's right. Mechanically, what you are doing is you are killing yourself, but you are chaining the spell in the syntax to then immediately revive yourself after. So you're basically giving yourself invulnerability.
It is the equivalent of a counter in Smash Brothers. But if you don't get hit, it does not work.
That's right.
I was I feel like I was misunderstood. I was just asking if well, that's cool. I was just asking if like the copy weapon spell. got
That
mentioned
is up to
too.
you. You gotta mention it. I figured I left it open for an in-character thing if you wanted
Alright,
to
that's
say
fine.
like, "Hey, Shalu, I know this cool spell."
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Because I think I was talking to you recently how we haven't really got mileage out of it yet. Like I feel like there's cool potential there, but
Tell me more. I'm here to expand your magic and your mind.
Hey, Colby, do me one quick favor.
That sounds very shady. You got it.
Actually, I can do it. Let me change your nickname ever so slightly real quick.
Sounds even shadier. Pay no mind.
oh, what's the link
There
to
we
get
go.
in to the foundry?
There we go.
Program number 1, baby.
We are on
Are we
Foundry.
on
It's going to
Foundry or
be
are we
over
on,
in
Wolfenstein?
general chat. The link is permanently pinned for general chat,
Got it.
and you should have access to it through your main list of spells and whatnot. Or main list of... The main list that's right there.
Depends.
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 Hello, friends! Welcome, welcome.
I am.
Welcome. We are starting off... Oh, I forgot to... That's why. I also forgot to post in Discord saying, hey, Arcadia campaign is live.
Is
There shouldn't be a password
password?
for your
What's going on?
character. You should just hit enter. Just don't put a
Oh,
password,
okay,
hit
there we
enter,
go.
and you're
Got
good.
Yeah, we got
I'm
it.
popping
There
in
we go.
as guest.
Yeah. We got
Go
fancy set up. Announcements. I'm just going to keep the same title because it literally Arcadia campaign is live and it's been too long. we had we had one group get COVID, another group have COVID, and then another group on vacation, and then house troubles, and then it's like, well, we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. All right.
That's right.
Hello, hello, welcome. I am your host, Heroes Legacy, streamer, GM, and all around foolishly foolish fool. Joined by my lovely cast and crew of the Arcadian campaign. We are -1 currently, but they will be joining us in a bit, as soon as they get back. But for now, let's introduce the cast of our Arcadian campaign, as well as our +1 guest for the night. Starting off with Mordecai.
Oh, that's right. I go first. Hi everyone. I'm Tillin. I have the pleasure of playing Mordecai Talark, the Sundered Spear from the Seer. He puts his skills to use hunting for ancient tech, son of a Sands, benevolent engineer. And yeah, so trying to figure out what all of this
Oh, yes.
contract mumbo jumbo has to do with us.
And next up. Next up, Elisha.
Hi, I'm young Lionheart playing Lisha once again, spy for Rain, quick-witted cat-like here to cause more chaos than what is needed as per usual.
Bit more. Thank you, Elisha. And next up, Delashi. Give you 1 second. Not prob. Not prob. Try to pop my arm socket. Ah, God.
Imagine your whole arm. Pop! There it goes.
Okay,
No, you're perfectly fine.
sorry about that. Hi, I'm KT. I play Delashi. Delashi is trying to find his way and find his father. He uses ice magic and a whip that was passed down to him.
Not a problem.
And I will be RP.
This is where we would have
You can
our,
continue.
last but not least, our Rootin' Tootin'. Our Rootin' Tootin' Rust. We played by Dark Crew there. He is a gunslinger, spy for Bane. He will be arriving with us when he gets here. Always a man of the crowd, and one to shoot first and ask questions always. And aim for the kneecaps. And then our guest for the evening, our wonderful Black Knight.
Right. Hello, everybody. I'm Black Knight, also Colby. I'm here to play Shalu, a mysterious old man with a great deal of wisdom, affinity for all sorts of magic, and a friend. For now. We'll see where these developments take us, and what will become of the party and their relationship with it.
Indeed. And as I said, my name is Heroes Legacy, as this is the Arcadian campaign, and our Fate Core tabletop set in the world of Skies of Arcadia, where the 6 denizen moons of Arcadia itself provide the world with magic and mystery, where lost civilizations, tech runs rampant among a Renaissance era of sky pirates and of the like. That's where we are. A quick recap done by Mordecai. Mordecai, give us a quick recap, please.
Okay, hold on.
All right. I will give a recap of last session's events. Or when Mordecai is ready, I will give a few cliff notes. So last time on the Arcadian campaign, our crew had left and took flight from Sailor's Island after acquiring some information in order to pay off some certain recent debts. Those debts being a loss with a high-ranking pirate of the pirate bounty by the name of Loose Cannon Lapin, who, after defeating Vross and Lysha, just wanted to claim what was his. Pay you what you're worth. While Lysha had no bounty, so she didn't have to pay, unfortunately Vross had a bounty of 10,000 gold, and as such was indebted at least to the island. Unfortunately, this had been a bit of a stopgap for our group, seeing as how they were not able to immediately go for the various things that they needed to in order to set sail immediately to Glacia, where potentially Dalashi's father is. Dalashi's father being a practitioner of Purple Moonstone magic, and something that the group has been told could be helpful to them, and already a goal of theirs, as unbeknownst to the group themselves, they are under a Winter Soldier-esque contract, and are unable to fight certain little side effects. And after doing such, leaving Sailor's Island, they proceeded onward to their first bounty mark, off of, just north of Sailor's Island, deeper into Valuan territory, off of the continent's side, where a supposed lost library, lost facility, ruins of sorts, where technology had gone missing and excavation crews left everything in fear of something, perhaps someone. As such, our group going for the bounty to help pay off their debts, they were tailed by a ship of sorts. However, upon finding out that this was a Valuan vessel, the Valuan vessel was torn asunder by an individual on a singular boatcraft. An individual that the group knows, well, somewhat, as a NPC, a wife of an NPC friend of theirs, known as Rias Lockhart, a individual who is wanted by Valua for reasons the group has found. Research purposes, and apparently is full control of Red Moonstone magic. Pyromancy, if you will. Yes. After blue skidooing, getting the fuck out of there, they made their way to the Forgotten Alcazar, in which they had met Shalu. Mordecai, you take it from here. Pass the ball.
Sorry, I was just... Oh, God. I was just informing Delashi about the concept of the bro tax. So we got onto the isle, waved the ship off, basically told the ship, the Powong, that we'll, call you if we need you. Didn't take long before we started hearing a creepy voice emanating from everywhere. Mordecai's eye pinged off something. I have it written down. Large and deep within the isle itself, with faint trace lining, kind of like we've seen in some of like the big temples we've been in. The proprietor of the island, Shalou, is big on manners. And from what we can tell, no one who's come in and interacted with him directly has come back.
Nope, you are correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong on that. According to when we asked Shalou about this, he said they were done in by their own greed. Apparently, Shalou, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I would never correct you on such a matter.
Sorry?
I would never correct you on such a matter. If that's what you think, then that's what I said.
Okay. Shalou's big on researching relics of magic. He actually wants us to... He would like us to return and spread word of what's happening here, which comes off to me as a threat of get and stay off my lawn. The older gentleman has Sylvite robes, so we're protective over his books. We engaged in conversation with him, met face to face. Shalou offered, immediately could tell something was up with us, and offered to investigate our memory, which Ross consented to, or something of the nature. Forgive me, like I said, chat. Mark has sprung this on me 2 times in a row.
You're very good at it.
Oh yeah? Neat.
Yeah.
So Ross consented to get brain probed. Mark made us all roll our contract stuff. We all passed, but Delashi, which, to his credit, he took several rounds to subdue. No thanks to chat.
And my own ingenuity.
Fate points. Shalou,
Ingenuity.
to the point where Shalou even offered to chain us all up for our own protection. But I think we subdued Delashi. Shalou got to resume looking into Ross' memories. Our contract save got reduced from 7 to 5, which was originally 9, I believe. And I believe we all agreed to hear Shalou out. At least that's what the last line of my note says.
Correct and correct.
So we left off with a irate but subdued Delashi, and Ross consenting to get matrixed by Shalou.
That is
Matrix.
correct course of events up till now. And now our crew is currently, after, I would say it's been a day since that event. Mostly, it's just the next day, because Shalou had to take some time, investigate, rattle into your brains a bit, in order to work on this process. As such, Shalou has offered also to assist with moonstone crystals. You notice that your group only has specific crystals. Do you each have a crystal in mind that you would like to infuse to one of your items? Preferably, he suggests your primary choice of weapon.
That's a very generous offer, but I'm sure it comes with those strings attached, yes? Look at my... So, Mark, question. So I've been spreading my, out of character. I've been spreading my moonstones out a bit. I've got red and yellow on my
Correct.
spear, which is how I started in this campaign. And then I've got green
Correct.
and silver on my dagger.
There is
a
no
two-stone
cap on
or have I
a
just been
single
doing
weapon
that
for a
myself?
stone.
Interesting.
Gestures and NPC
You even
staff.
see Shalou's staff has one of every color.
Dude, that's
Yep.
something Mordecai would know, but Tillin forgot.
It's actually it's not common knowledge. it is something that you rarely get seen done because not a lot of people have access to all the stones. And some primarily try to focus on their moonstone color. Even your family find themselves as more practitioners of the specific choice of magic and stick with it. Family members deviate while they have an extra stone or two, but usually for just purposes of interest or if they come upon the stone and the additional funds. Usually, moonstone engravements are harder to do and also are a bit time-consuming. But for Shalou, he can do this at least for a weapon once.
At
You
least.
have these lying
He will be
around, or
looking
just
around in his inventory and says it is a gesture of good faith and hopefully going forward to incur partnership.
Mm-hmm. And if I remember correctly, submitting Mordecai. If I remember correctly, it's you wanted us to clear something out of your own dungeons. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. Let me make you a proposal. First of all, this moonstone is on me, and we will have a full, lengthy conversation about this. Second of all, you're all adventurers. You like treasure. You like exploring. You like wonderful items. I have beneath this location a large, vast dungeon that is, let's say half explored. There are two parts to it. One, you don't need to go to because I have explored it, which has relics and ruins and items of an era long ago, which holds my interest and which I have mapped out and taken all of the interesting objects. The second half of this dungeon is more modern. Things from effectively this era that hold no interest to me and hasn't been mapped out, but may hold items or other treasures that I'm sure would be wonderful gifts for you adventurers. So I propose, map out this half of the dungeon for me, pick up whatever you like along the way, and should you find something more ancient or something mysterious that you don't quite understand, all I ask is that you give this to me as a gift. Everything else is yours for the low, low price of simply going in and adventuring. This should be your specialty, so really, it's a win-win.
Certainly an interesting proposal. Somebody else talking about write stuff down.
It does sound like an interesting idea. I mean, we're already here, and you're
That's
already
right.
going through all of our minds.
You're here, there could be wonderful treasure there, and if nothing else, I can give you a moonstone now. You could have a fun little experience to write home about and go along your way. It isn't as if you're, at risk of death. Should any of you happen to properly perish, and I don't hear from you in a few days, I'll come find your body and fix things up. I am, after all, renowned in all sorts of magic, including silver.
You know silver magic.
I know every magic.
What do you know of silver magic?
I know a lot of silver magic. I know silver magic so well, I created my own spell for it. What do you know about silver magic?
Well, I have this slime that's literally silver magic.
Lime.
He
Put
said
the
a
lime
lime,
in the
like a
coconut.
fruit.
Oh, no, my slime, which, correct me if I'm wrong, last session, he,
Yep.
grabbed.
Bro.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, he's frozen, right.
Yeah, he's unfrozen now.
He's unfrozen now, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so as you say this, Shaolu looks over at the slime, and he's like, I
You
wonder if I
actually
can
know
teach the
these
slime."
slimes. You actually know a lot about these slimes because they're actually Sylvite companions. Sylvite companions were made during the old times for all of the Silver Moon denizens as kind of like anywhere from pets to royal guards.
Washi, I'm about to hook you up. I'm about to give you the hookup. I'm about to give you the good hookup. You don't even know. So, Shao will look over at this slime and be like, you know what? As a gift, I've got this. Come here, and he will pick up the slime, and he will just take his staff in the other hand, and he'll be like,
Um,
a moment, and I will give you good fortune. And he's going to...
Okay, why are you
I'm gonna-
manhandling him? Don't just pick him up. Ask him first, at least.
Would you like to learn a great power slime and become an unstoppable immortal being?
His name is Bip.
Bip! Is this... Do you desire great glory and power?
Bip, an
Of course you
owl
do.
that is turned
Anyways.
upside down because it doesn't know how to fly. Because
Floating
it's a
upside
bird
down.
that doesn't know it's a bird.
Yeah.
You're
Literally
coming to me,
just
Bip.
looks
Don't
upside
worry.
down and is like chiming like a
Yes.
bell.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to teach Bip my signature spell.
Alright.
Because it's funny. Because it's very funny.
And actually, because Bip is made of silver moonstone, it can learn this, and it can use this for the party. Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I
now
know.
Bip will learn this. Bip
I'm the
will
wizard, I get
will be able to use this spell as
I have
As an
made
action,
Bip
and
unkillable.
if anyone on the party needs this spell, Bip can use it as Bip's action.
That's right.
Nice.
And the spell is, to reiterate for everyone at home, you must prepare this spell. If you take damage that would cause you to go over your stress level, you instead do not take that damage and go back to full.
Okay, so he takes it. He takes whatever damage you were gonna
No.
get. That was gonna. put you
Holy
into-
jeez, thank you for the
He
34
doesn't take the
months.
damage. No one takes the damage.
Okay.
Oh jeez.
I had to reload it.
Yep, I see the
and I
lucky
was like,
lucky. I'll
oh.
roll
There's
the
a lucky.
What this owl will do, it is prepped on a person. He can prep it on himself or any of you. Is that he will be casting 2 spells in simultaneous chain because I have taught him how to do so. It is Attorney and Rislium. Attorney kills you instantly. Rislium puts you back at full HP from death. So what happens is he will prepare this spell. When you get hit, if you're going to take catastrophic damage, he will instead kill you preemptively. You don't get to take this damage, and then he will bring you back up to full HP. It is a full counter, effectively,
Okay.
where you take no damage.
All right.
You-
That's
if you
interesting.
if you wanted to have some Pokemon abuse, you could hold out your owl in front of you and say, "Take the hit for me," and you know, he's guaranteed to take that hit. But what you probably more practically would want to do is have him cast it on you, and then you take the hit. But
Right.
if you're here for familiar demand,
No, I'm not here for that actually. But
Shalou, what's a Pokemon?
that's a long, complicated story for another.
Long
era.
ago, a creature named
Oh my
Arceus.
No,
right.
God.
Out of character. That's basically the Pokemon who's substitute.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, when you describe this, Mordecai gets a little bit of a look on his face, like, I think I've been through this before.
Wait. Okay. I do have a question. So,
Mhm.
are the 2 of them permanently connected, or can he use them separately as well?
The 2 spells.
Yeah.
This,
He
go ahead.
he can use the base spell of each. This spell right now, he will be able to use the max version of it in tandem for this spell for him. Like, that Shalou shows him. However, as far as learning silver magic itself, Bip only knows the base spells.
So,
Okay.
it is very unlikely. So, Attorney can instantly kill an enemy. I would say probably that Bip currently knows Risen, which will bring you back up to 50 HP regularly, and maybe Curia, which can cure you of any adverse side effect, but doesn't know the instant kill spell, unless it's in combination with the putting back up to full HP. It's a unique spell.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
So,
If you can, Mark, can you drop that in my channel
Yes.
later? You don't have to do it right now.
So, a little bit later, Shalou returns with Bip and says, "Behold, he has learned great power," and then explains to you what the spell is and how Bip can do it.
As he says, "Behold, Bip has learned great power." You see Bip correct his flight.
All hail, Bip. All hail.
And Bip just chimes.
That's right. See? An act of goodwill.
All right.
So,
Now, in further goodwill, I'll teach all of you a little bit of something. Who would like to go first with adding a stone to their weapon.
Mordecai?
Elisha?
I have some thinking to do on this, actually. I'll go last.
I'm gonna point you out. Elisha, how about yourself?
Oh, get out of here, Gladio. You ain't in this game.
Look, you got a Gladio on each side.
In the back of your throat, my friend.
Ah. Well, I don't know about you, but I also need to think.
Fine. Elisha hands out one of her daggers. Can you put purple in this thing so I can stab things and tell them to shut the fuck up?
I can do many things.
Okay,
What?
cool.
What is this dagger currently equipped with? What other stones?
It should be green and blue, right?
No, she has it on her glove.
Ah, okay.
Sure. So he says, I can put this there. If that is what you wish.
You will collect the items first, and then go into a back room afterwards.
That's fine. I will be happy to put that there. While I am doing this, consider, as an additional favor, I can teach you a little bit of purple magic, or I can teach you combination magic. Well, in a fight, what kind of individual would you consider yourself? A supporter? Would you consider yourself a tank, DPS, or healer in Q?
Motions to her outfit. I'm just gonna let you guess.
Be a sneaky rogue.
I see. A
You're
sneaky
jungler.
rogue. Why don't I teach you the lovely ability to prepare magic? And so the premise is that if, and you know, DM can correct me if I'm wrong, but the idea is if you take actions, you can preemptively prep spells. So for example, in the purple spell, there is Crystalli, which encases a single enemy in ice. But the next spell is summons an icicle at the foot of an enemy and impales it. If you prep Crystallis in advance, you make several preps, and you say, okay, I want Crystallis to hit these locations, then what you could do is you could bring an enemy to you, activate Crystallis, and it will go ahead and pop off, and you don't have to use the actions. And in fact, you could have several Crystallis in the same area.
Yep.
You could AoE hit some people. You could do all
Basically,
sorts of things.
yeah, chambering mind spells. So basically setting it as, like, you know how we had a stored spell in one of your items? You could basically do that with Crystalli, setting a case for it.
That's right.
She's like, as long as they die faster, that is what I am here for.
You know, why you'll be learning purple. You also know blue and green?
Blue, I can dab in green.
You know blue and you dabble in green. Do you know Noxie?
I'm a spy.
I see. Sassy and witty. Ah, what a lovely combination. Well,
Actually, manners are.
have you considered using Weatherly in combination with Noxie for poisonous gas?
I haven't. Gareth has. But she's kind of like Chucky's like, and more so like to again, dab in the green. Just
Well,
slide it in here.
is this something you would like to learn, or should I come up with a better lesson more suitable for primarily blue magic?
Probably blue or purple primarily, because again, like green, that's not my forte. I mean,
Not
it kind of is. It's you know, again,
Well, you could.
I use mostly blue and purple. I like to blow bitches away or freeze their asses. It's one of the
Well,
two.
As a sneaky assassin, you could use Weatherly with Slipara, and you could make a sleeping gas and discreetly infiltrate with a sleeping mist and then go in and kill them all when they're sleeping. It's much easier to kill someone when you can just stab at their throat one time.
Mark,
Yep.
I thought that was a touch spell.
It normally is. So what he is suggesting is that you have a normally with the sleeping spell, with Slipara, it is a quick puff of cloud, and then if it affects the opponent, it affects them. If not, then it just dissipates. However, what he's suggesting is creating a lasting Slipara, that doesn't dissipate, and then moving it with Webless.
That's right.
Think about it. Sleep pattern.
Exactly.
So basically
In the-
making an AoE effect that you can then move with another spell-based effect.
That's right. Few adventurers do this, but I find this to be one of the sources of my power, and the reason adventurers often underestimate me. Within a field of magic, for example, the blue field, you can find that through experimentation and combinations of powers, you can make them do things that you would never normally expect. For example, making Silpara a sleeping gas that can be mobile and affect the enemies. There are other such things. Doing a whirlwind of water and combining it with poison to, have long. You could use Webley, create a whirlwind of water, use it to make rain, and have poisonous rain over an area while they have no idea where you are. Not quite your forte, but I have done this to great effect on the battlefield before. Where, there's nothing they can do about environmental effects. They think it's rain, and suddenly they stop breathing. Oh no. So, food for thought. Should you ever come up with a combination or proposal and you can't quite figure out how to make it work within the blue or purple fields, feel free to speak to me. But I hope that this idea of Webley and Slipara working together has been enlightening, and you open your mind to further combinations and possibilities, not just within the blue field, but even maybe perhaps combining blue and purple for something more intriguing. In any case, I've expounded a great deal, and your face looks like you might be bored, so I will speak to someone else. And,
I'm about it.
Here's your hydrate.
he will politely bow and look at the other two and say, "Now that I have expounded upon my speech, which one of you two is next?"
Well, how about you, Mordecai?
I've just put Delashi's name forward on it if they heard me.
All right.
Muted.
I can go.
And what circles of magic do you know?
Okay, so I have purple, and I have wild magic, and I've actually learned a couple spells from my wild magic. So I know Webless, and then I know a higher level purple spell.
Well, I've just had a whole combination. Higher level purple spells. So you could use Webless with Panica, and you could make, rather than a sleeping mist, a confusing mist. So in the midst of battle, you could have enemies attack each other.
Alright.
And what stone would you like?
What stones are there?
There's all the colors except black.
That's right. We got green, red, purple, blue, yellow, and silver.
Yep.
What would you do if I get a moonstone from you, and then I immediately feed it to Bip?
Shalu, as someone who's a Sylvite, you know that the Sylvite slimes, they eat shards of moonstone fragments, and the more moonstone fragments they eat, the stronger they become.
A proper stone, though. Would this be too much for Bip?
It would not be too much for Bip. However, you feel that feeding it fragments and shards would be better suited than feeding it a full-blown stone, since it is already capable of high-end magic just by growing itself.
I would say that is inefficient, but it's your own prerogative. Bip here, the powerful being that he is, can grow by simply eating fragments and shards, while fragments and shards to you are largely worthless. You will best grow with a stone, while feeding it to Bip is overkill. Rather unnecessary. But if you want to, it's your stone, I'm giving it to you. I won't stop you. I will just lament your decision.
Lament what could have been.
There
I
are
won't
many
feed
other-
it to him. I'll take your advice. I won't feed it to him. I'll take a blue.
Purple and blue. Excellent. The two of you will be devastating. I'm sure that you've heard my expounded speech. You can prep Crystales as a chambered spell to cast. On higher levels, you can use Crystalline. You could, of course, combine Crystalline with Slipara, making sleeping ice rain that both devastates the enemies and puts them to sleep as they get impaled. You can, of course, prep crystal lumes. You could use panicas with weblas to create giant tornadoes that confuse people, or you could use... Quicka is a little bit difficult to think of how it can best be used with others. Regardless, I think this largely the advice that I gave your sneaky thief applies to you. Chambered spells, the application of synergy and using wind magic to spread these things out and prepare for things. Environmental effects particularly can be deadly, especially in larger fields. If I'm not mistaken, there's some sort of war going on, so if you took the lessons I taught you and applied them to the battlefield, I am sure you would make quite the war hero.
We're not really participating in that war.
Well, if you ever want to make some money as mercenaries, I'm sure with the skills I've provided to you, you will make quite a hefty paycheck. But of course, again, it's your prerogative.
It occurs to me you're very cut off from the world if you're unsure of the state of the war.
I'm a man here to do research.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I know there's a war because people have come in and mentioned this. Are you saying the war is going poorly?
Do you know
Or,
of
I
the
guess-
war?
That depends on perspective. I was going to propose a trade of information after we were done with this conversation. Old news for new news.
A trade of information. Am I not teaching you the wisdom of magic? Am I not opening your mind by providing you new insights and spells? My god, man, a trade of information. What more do you want? I'm enlightening you. I've just made Bip an immortal deity.
It's very
Yes.
nice for Bip.
Excellent.
Bip just
I was
chimes.
merely
Witness
suggesting.
is
She agreed!
I was merely
Bip
suggesting.
Flies
I didn't want to
elegantly
interrupt-
upright.
Right.
I was merely suggesting. I didn't want to derail this conversation with that immediately.
Well, I'll put
And
a
I'm
pin in this
curious-
war news.
I'm curious about the few things elsewhere as well. So
Well, we'll come back to this.
very
Which means that now you have to tell me what stone do you want and what magics do you know.
It's interesting. Out of character, Mark. So if I recall correctly,
Yes.
have I effectively soft mastered red and yellow at this point? Like it's just a matter of how high I roll in magic.
Say that one more time.
Have I like soft mastered red and yellow since I started with them?
Correct.
Like, I don't
Well,
have-
no.
okay.
You've more than soft mastered. You're medium master.
Okay.
Hey, but
So it occurs to me because I have green and silver, which I'm learning
Yes.
on my secondary weapon, and you told me if I use both weapons in a fight, my learning progress is halved
I have
for not focusing on the weapon with the new magics. Correct?
Not really halved. It's just basically you're separating your focus on which one you're learning. You no matter what, it's whatever you are utilizing, whatever kills something adds to that. So
Okay.
if you kill it with green, you aid in the green learning process. If you kill it with silver, you aid in the silver learning process.
But if
Even
I
if
fight
it's-
my whole fight with my spear, I'm not getting any progress on the two that I'm struggling to learn.
Correct. But it's as long as whatever your weapon is attuned currently using.
Okay.
two things. One, I'll never mention this in character, but out of character, Shalu just went, wow, you know what? These two purple and blue magic users would make beautiful, beautiful broken babies together. It would be a crying shame to humanity if they didn't get together to teach their kids the magic they know. And then just like, think of it, the synergy!
Oh man, we got a fucking German geneticist up in here.
Genetics.
Lisha,
We're
your
both
face.
blonde.
Alright, well, anyway,
Color your eyes.
this is just
Orange.
thoughts in my head. What he's actually going to say is, I'm curious. You two, closer you two with each other. Would you say that you synchronize pretty well or get in tandem? It is also possible for individuals, if they are properly attuned to one another, to combine their magics together for better synchronous effects, or to prepare two halves of one spell. So, for example, one of you could prepare Panica, the other one of you could prepare Wevliz, and instead of having to learn how to do it combinationally, you can use it together in sync. However, it requires a great deal of cooperation, and I have no idea how in tune you are with each other.
Correct. We can't hear you, Elisha.
I was commenting on the kitty.
Oh, kitty.
Yeah, I
Kitty,
was
kitty,
wondering,
meow,
okay.
meow.
Do you want to say something, Lisha?
No, let's just point blank. I'm married to that.
Howdy.
I'm not sure how to respond to your question.
He's asking if you work well together.
Yes, we
Yes.
do. I would like to think so, at least.
Yes.
I think,
Well-
simply put, he's just trying to say if, Lasha and me, we kind of know how to bob and weave through each other's effects, utilize, just make the best of it.
They're an item.
Yes.
See, Mordecai gets it.
We're Gucci.
Gucci, as they call.
Interesting. You briefly see his eyes gleam. He's like, science.
Oh God, Doc, you're not going to put me in the middle of this.
You're on my list. In any case, actually, this is even better.
In your mind.
Listen to me very carefully. Since you two are an item, that means that you're synchronized, which means that you can create some beautiful, destructive, magical effects together.
Well,
In fact,
shit, why didn't you say that in the
so-
first place?
It's so interesting that Mordecai here, I'm going to have to put you on hold. You, young man.
Very well.
I also just got an idea too, and I'm going to be a little... It's going to be great. It's stupid. Elisha, with what Shalu is also proposing, you could technically make caster shells mid-combat for Vrost.
You think Shadowbreaker
Good.
flashbacks? Read the cartridges.
Like, thank you. I was like, there's only 2 people in here who'll get this joke.
I'm sorry.
Beat me to the
I totally
punch.
pissed you
It's
off.
fine. It's fine. You beat me to the punch, but yeah. I guess, yes, possibly could just, choo. Emo is on it now.
Oh, my
Look at
young
shit,
friend.
that lasagna.
Lasagna!
And what magic do you cast?
Who are you talking to?
He's talking to the cowboy.
Frost.
Just like he's
Red
actually
and
tensely
yellow
staring at this
and-
guy.
Technically, whatever's in his gun. Whatever
Fire
it
Matt.
is, cocked and loaded.
I believe red, yellow, a little bit of green, and
That's it.
has he installed blue? I
No.
feel like I've heard him talk about blue.
That's fantastic. Okay, so you fire magic through your gun. So yes,
Yeah, Vrost can use red and yellow moonstone magic, and then specifically is learning to cast green moonstone magic.
All right. So he looks over at Elisha. And he says, I will spend some time teaching you how to make magical bullets. And what you can do is you can create spells, put them in bullets, and your beloved here can fire them. So not only can you use your spells, but they can.
And he can amplify it through the chamber of what he
That's right.
has for his gun.
Got some
Okay.
crystales, put it in a bullet, fire it at someone, they're cryo frozen.
And he can also amplify the power with his Incremus. So if he fires a Crystallis bullet, he can make a casing of ice that'll stop people and then increase the DC check for them to get out of that casing.
He knows Incremus?
Yes.
He can Incremus Lisha. Lisha can make the bullet, he can put the bullet in the gun, use the increments buff on himself, so he's getting double buffs
Oh, God.
on the bullet. Fire the bullet with 50% extra attack. Consider the following.
Consider the following: stacked
He can do
buffs.
He can do that, and while they're making the bullet, he increments himself. They make the bullet. He drill noses the enemy. So you have you have a 75% difference. They're weakened by 25%. He's increased by 50%. Literally 75% stronger damage.
I'm gonna lean over to Delashi and be like,
The damage.
why don't we ever talk about combat and percentages?
Honestly, it's kind of making my head hurt a little bit.
Oh, I thought you-
Science.
Math. Ugh.
Nerds.
What he can do is
Nerd.
he can combine Electris with Drill Nose, fire a bullet with Electris, have it hit all of the enemies in a chain lightning, Drill Nose to weaken them, then switching over to the Increments bullet with Crystallum, fire the Increment bullets, and Cryo freeze them all.
I feel like someone's talking to me about their Destiny build.
All I hear is Monster Hunter, man.
Also, that
Honestly.
The power! Open your mind. Shalu's over here like, ooh.
Shalu's
Oh my
only
God.
mental image for me is a Galaxy Brain gif.
Yeah, honestly.
What I'm really saying here is that Mark, you're gonna have to step up the enemies shortly because
Depending on what steps they take, possibly.
Ross, listen to me. I'm about to fill you in on how you can become a literal god.
Hey, welcome,
Hey.
Frost.
Hello.
Was a god.
Like
Excuse me?
background.
Even more of a god. Does anybody want to give him a
The
recap?
god of chewing tobacco and busted kneecaps.
Does anybody want to give him a recap before I go into this?
Shalu is really smart. Is your recap?
Real quick for you, Vrost. You're able to. Shalu is willing to physically enchant a weapon. He highly encourages a weapon that already has enchantments on it. For you, it's probably going to be your problem solver that you would probably choose, but you could choose a different weapon if you would like. He's trying to stack moonstones into a singular weapon if possible. And then also teaching spells to the group currently.
That's right. And he just learned that you and Lisha. So he was teaching Delashi and Lisha about synergy and the ability to combine and mix magics for greater effects. And then he said, "Listen, actually, how well do you get along? Because you can use your magics and combine them with each other if you get good effect." And then Lisha said, "Well, actually, I've got a thing with this guy over here." And he's like, "Oh, and what do you use?" And you're like, "I've got a gun." And he's like, "A gun? This is great!" He asked what you use, and since you use yellow and red, he looked at you like you're the second coming of, the Messiah, and he's like, "I've got an idea for you. So one of the things that he can teach is how to condense magic into bullets.
Mhm.
And so his suggestion is that you combine Electrum and Drill Nose into a bullet. You fire that bullet, and it chain lightnings the enemies, but it weakens them with Drill Nose. Then, preemptively, what you've already done before this is you've cast Incremis. When you've cast Incremis, you have Lisha prepare a strong a strong purple spell, or blue spell, either way. You load that into your gun. You have Incremis on yourself. You've got the Incremis buff from Lisha. You've got the Incremis buff from you. You've got the Drill Nose weakness buff on the enemy. You just hit them for catastrophic AoE damage with the spell that Lisha has loaded into your gun because you've already chain lightning them and weakened them, and you are now cleaning house.
All right,
This-
that's definitely quite a bit. I will need that in notes, so goldfish
Yep.
brain and all
Yep.
that. But yeah, Slice. After getting all that, Rost will pull out the problem solver and be in the show like, "Hey, I already have these moonstones in here. These are kind of like the basics for how it works," and really kind of give an in-depth detail on how his gun works. Probably a first time for the group to see Rost go as technical as how Mordecai would on an invention.
Mordecai sings. We've talked about
This is great.
Yes.
He will spend some time teaching you how to make magic bullets. And so for you, you'll have a great advantage because you can just... you've seen Early Ruby?
Yeah.
You know how Early Ruby, they had, like, the dust, like, vials or whatever? You can literally just have, like, a suitcase around, open it up. It's, like, filled with magic bullets. You just sloth them into your gun, and away you go. You're just firing spells out of your gun.
As I was saying earlier, Lisha could now start making caster bullets for you.
That's
Very
great.
nice.
So Outlaw
Great.
Star style.
Yeah, see, my boy knows. My boy knows me too well.
I got you.
The
But yes,
power
no.
is yours.
Who spilled Outlaw Star in my Arcadia?
But yes, that is gonna be incredibly awesome, and Ross is gonna show his thanks as we're going through this. For someone to offer this assistance, especially for the group and being able to propel ourselves towards our end game goal, he is gonna show his thanks.
Oh, just a
Absolutely.
reminder, since you looked like you were spacing out there. This is not for free.
Well,
We owe him a favor. We're going through a dungeon. We're going to get some.
there's a small caveat. I'm gonna send you adventuring and exploring, and you're gonna get some nice loot.
I'm reminding Frost we can't say, "Okay, thanks," and walk out the door.
That's right.
I mean, see, we can, but there's consequences.
That's what we've learned all about.
Cry myself to
We
sleep. and I'll
have
be
definitely
very
learned about consequences.
There's one of those
Mark.
things, we
Yep.
go to sleep in our mansion after the game's all done, and you wake up and he's standing there like a paralysis demon, like, you owe me something.
That's right. That's right. So with that said, red and yellow can be used to great synergy together, crippling your enemies while hitting them with catastrophic damage. And now with this miracle child, gesturing over to Elisha, you can create caster bullets, and you will be more powerful than ever.
That's my wife.
A blessed wife. Congratulations. I am sure that you will be a family to go down in history with your legacy of magic and the way that you implemented on the battlefield.
Tips his hat at you.
He tips his hat back because he has a wizard hat. He's like, "Wah."
Ross is just,
He's
This is
never
the
been
first-
tipped back.
I got you. I've got you. So with that all said and done, what stone would you like?
let's see, I have red,
You-
blue, and green in here already.
Don't you have yellow?
Yellow is in Fulnir, because I have Ignis and Fulnir here on my sides, but with the problem solver here in my hands, this is what we have. I know purple would be helpful. I know that there's silver, question mark, from what we've seen.
There is, and I'm very adept in it.
There's... Let me ask you something. So, if you were in my position where you were trying to build this weapon that can utilize every moonstone magic that there is, and you have a never-ending dying shade chasing after you no matter where you go in this bright new world,
Can you
think
remove the
what would
mark?
be the best shot?
You want to learn
just-
silver magic?
You think silver's the best bet? I know that I have this, and he kind of peels back, and you'll see a star scar from where he carved out a marking on his shoulder. It's a pretty big thing.
My goodness.
So, this undying shade I mentioned earlier, it touched us when we first discovered it. Now I have this burning sensation here that whenever it comes nearby, it's kind of like it's marked, and we can't seem to get rid of it. Like, as you see, I try to cut this out, and
Next time we'll pull.
This will be interesting. I won't say anything.
Out of
I'm gonna see how
curiosity-
this goes.
Out of
Mordecai will
curiosity,
pull his shirt aside and show the same mark.
out of curiosity, I'd like to cast Kyria on that. Does it work?
It does not work.
I'd like to cast Rizlium on that. Does that work?
It does
Okay.
not work.
On that specific
He
flesh?
says,
I'd like to, in that specific flesh area, cast Eternity.
You see the flesh start to rot away, and it is very painful to Frost.
Thank God.
But
Sorry.
it still stays.
And then I heal it back, and it's like, I deleted it, returned it, and it's still there.
y'all just saw my bones, right? Like, am I the only one that
"Oh, I
just
saw
saw
your
that?
bones, yes.
My
Yeah.
apologies.
Perhaps a
This-
warning next time."
Yeah.
Is interesting.
That's a good
Yeah,
word for
is-
this pain in the ass we feel.
I'm going to go ahead and use what is it? I'd like to use Slipara specifically on that skin to sleep the nerve ending so it can't feel anything, like
Okay.
anesthetic.
Okay.
And then I'd like to try and drill nose it, or I guess drill in it.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Any effect?
There's a slight effect. It starts now glowing violently red.
And what happens if I increment?
It stays. It's not violently red, but it stays a status red.
Interesting. And it was red when we first started,
No, it was black when you first started.
and now it's red.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Interesting.
worth noting
as-
this thing is currently being contained on our ship right now. And
You have an undying shade on your ship.
yes, we managed to contain it with a purple energy field. So
I would be very interested in seeing this.
yeah, well, I would be very interested in letting us take control of that situation before you potentially pump it full of more energy. Because it takes energy from the ship to stay active, and I would rather keep my ship in the air. Okay, thanks.
Fascinating. Fascinating. Well, I'll come
So
back
I
to
don't
this.
know if
but
you're hurting it or helping it, but let's put a pin in it for now.
Certainly, we can put a pin in this. The reason I suggest silver magic is because silver magic is the magic to kill the undying. It kills anything, even those that cannot live. And should it be undying, perhaps bringing it back to full HP and resurrecting it is the way to kill it. Silver magic is the end-all, be-all magic. So something that is immortal has to do most likely with silver magic. Can I just discern anything else about this fascinating mark?
Yes, you have your character sheet, right?
It
It should also.
Frost isn't the only one with a mark.
Yes, there.
Lisha and Mordecai have the mark too.
Yeah, I showed him mine.
yeah. I'm not
He
Ross
just, he
in
just
front of
didn't
me.
point at mine. It's fine.
He's
Watching
got
Ross
Ross.
get triple flash, and I
He's like-
slowly put my shirt back.
Slowly, never mind.
You're watching as Ross goes through like the 5 stages of grief, the 7 stages of pain.
No warning.
Expressions on his
No
face.
warning.
I'm gonna walk up to Frost. I'm gonna give him a pat
The
on his
first time
shoulder.
I
I'm
put-
gonna,
I
I'm
put some
gonna slip
anesthetic
a
on you.
flask in his hand.
Oh, he
That's
does
what anesthetic on you. What anesthetic?
pounds the flask out of sheer spite at this way. He's like, well, pops the cap, knocks it back, and then everything goes numb for a while.
I don't have the sheet in front of me.
All right, not a
Let's
problem.
see.
Use the earth in the back.
Give me 1 second.
I love how, like, anesthesia was one of the last things you tried.
Yeah. No, you didn't start with it. You also didn't ask, hey, can I use 3 very different spells on you?
Sorry.
I'm a doctor.
It's for science. It's for science. It's fine.
I don't know what you want. I'm a researcher before I'm a doctor. All right.
Listen, all I'm saying is
Really?
Ross's bar for like his reputation with Shalu has gone the maximum, the minimum, the negative, the minimum, back up the maximum.
Just tip your hat at him again.
Play Paragon and Renegade too much.
You're playing Dragon Age. This is the kind of interaction
Frost will remember
Oh
that.
my
There's no
God.
sure how.
Oh man.
Oh my god, Frost will remember that.
Russell.
We
Oh.
need those.
Alright.
Yeah.
I don't remember where the fuck I put Shalu's thing. I think it's on my main computer and not on my
I feel
laptop.
like for a couple.
Did you ever DM it to me?
Mordecai will try.
I
to
think
do
I
that.
did. It should be under It should be Shalu.
Would it be a file or an actual, or just an image?
PDF.
Okay, hold on. File. No. Which makes me think it's around
Ah, I have it.
here.
I
Oh,
can resend it to you. I do have it though.
great. Send that to me.
Aha! Alright, yeah, I figured I knew what your lore was, but I was like, I should have you at least attempt a roll anyway.
My god, we made this a long time ago.
Yeah, we did.
A long time ago.
Yes, we did. That's how long this has been in the works, Fred.
This has been in the works for A very long time.
Hot
My
minute.
God.
D&D party be like, we...
There's two other guests that are like similar as you, and that's what we'll see soon enough.
All right. Well, so I'm just going to do a lore. So I roll. How do you do?
For fate, so there should be a macro over in the side. If you look over, at the bottom side, there should be a folder there. You
Yes.
want to do roll track?
Roll track.
Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. So what you're going to do? Double click your token,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then you'll see it there.
I see. But my lore is not correct.
Yep. We'll just hit the
Okay.
roll lore button, and we'll add your 5 on top of that. Which, yep, boom. What was the question in regards to rolling this lore for again?
Is there anything else I can discern about this? Like what it is, or how it's responding to this magic? Is it absorbing my magic or eating it, or do I know anything about undying creatures?
What you know in specific, this this specific creature, or at least this cursed mark, has tied its life essence to the creature itself that has been chasing them. It is a mixture of purple moonstone magic as well as red moonstone magic specifically. Although red moonstone magic you should know more of, because they partnered up with the Sylvites back in your time very often for making various things. I actually need to take you aside over, and I'm going to determine how much you want to tell the group.
You're taking our guest to the private
Yeah,
channel.
I'm taking guests to private channel.
I'll be back to lore dump on you.
Private channel, let's
Oh.
go, friend. Alright. Alright. Here we are, friend. Here we are. Okay.
The stream.
Huh?
So what if they're watching the stream?
I'm going to put faith and trust them. I'm going to trust them.
All right, let's go.
So, what you know as a Sylvite is that back in the ancient times, the Red Moonstone denizens were on equal terms with the Sylvites. This being because they were the only one of the races besides Green Moonstone races, the Rixons, to actually incorporate methods to alter one's body. While the Sylvites use alchemical components, organic matter and nature has always been something that their moonstone is not specifically geared for. So they have had to make artificial structures. But working in tandem with the Red Moonstone and then sometimes the Green Moonstone. The Green Moonstone civilization was kind of at ends with the Silver Moonstone civilization for a breach of ethics. Where the Red Moonstone civilization was, you know what, we need to further our progress. We can learn and expand on various things.
My homies.
Anywhere from making prosthetics for people to replace for body parts and all of the like. Specifically, something that Mordecai has had that you don't know this, but Mordecai has had visions of the Red and Silver Moonstone civilizations working in tandem together, making artificial bodies for people to basically take organs from, take limbs from, and do transplants for. And this has worked with the Silver and Red Moonstone civilizations. Where the Silver Moonstone civilizations used to focus on making more advanced prosthesis or prosthetics.
Sure.
But the body is something that one should always upkeep and take.
I agree.
So, for what you realize of this sigil, it is a life force of the Purple Moonstone civilization. The Purple Moonstone civilization deals specifically with spiritual nature and otherworldly creatures.
I got 3 questions.
Yes.
Do I like the Purple Moonstone civilization historically?
The Purple Moonstone civilization, I would say no. Particularly, you don't like the Purple Moonstone civilization because for one reason or another, they were the most isolated foundation and believed in various things that science didn't really go with. They're a spiritual nation.
Do I know how to kill the Purple Moonstone civilizations?
You do not. The closest thing that you've come to killing the Purple Moonstone civilization is when the Sylvites themselves cause the Rains of Destruction, which is basically taking the Silver Moon and raining down meteors on all the civilizations. And that is actually what has caused the current restructure of society.
Right, of course.
Yes. And why we are now in a renaissance again of magic and technology.
That's right. So, the takeaway is, they have an immortal being on their ship that I don't know how to kill, but I don't like, but is effectively godly.
Not godly, just unkillable at the moment. Think of it as their Black Knight.
My god. Is it...
The other underlying factor is something that you don't know, but something that kind of hinges at your memory. Something that you should know, but can't quantify. And it's something to do with a seventh moon that you should know about, but for some reason have lost memory of.
Can I use green magic and silver magic to effectively regenerate my brain at full HP and revive it to see if I can revive these brain cells?
You have tried in the past, and it has come to no avail.
I see.
It is something of a distortion that you cannot act upon.
High or low?
I'll take. Ooh, no. You, my friend, tell me. Do you want high or low?
No. You want high or low?
We'll go high. We'll go high.
Hey, you get to decide. Will Shalu's greed and curiosity be so great that he now says, I'm either stealing this way from you, or I'm coming with you on all of your journeys. I don't care what you do, but I'm going to study this creature. Or does he say, this is very interesting, but a big pain in my ass and not worth my time? You get to decide. If I had rolled low, you wouldn't get to decide. He's taking this, or he's going with them. Because he, as a devoted researcher and curiosity expert, to see someone of the old civilization is huge, and to see someone of the old civilization that kind of reaches to his memory that he can't remember, he's like, my greed is rising.
My greed is unparalleled.
I mean, this is what happens when you put in a lawful evil character. He's like, oh, an item of interest.
I will make that decision after you converse with them more, because I feel like you don't have enough information to swing fully on that. But I will pin that. I will pin that.
All right, let's go back.
All right, we'll go back now. We're back, friends.
With lore, apparently.
With lore.
Yeah. So, Xiaolu just like has like a brief moment of like, you're almost sure he had a stroke because his face just freezes and he's like deep in thought and you're like, is this man okay? Like he's just like, you snap it if it doesn't respond. After like,
hello,
probably looks at you and he says, "Dear God."
Oh, he's back.
Effectively, what you have on your ship is an individual from the Purple Moon civilization a great time ago. And yes, you are correct in that this being is extremely difficult to kill. It's also a being effectively from another era. How it has encountered you is an extraordinary twist of fortune, though I wouldn't necessarily call it luck. I
want, real quick, lore rolls from Mordecai and Ross specifically.
Can I do a lore roll with my book?
Ooh, yes. Okay, correction, you can as well. You can possibly for something else. This is specifically to see if Mordecai and Ross remember specific information that they were given.
Okay, so can I pull out my journal? And...
Yes.
Okay, should I roll lore for that?
Hold off on your roll real quick.
I will.
This is specifically for information that you all should, or specifically these two should have learned.
Real quick. I'm
I like to
sorry.
burn 2 fate points to make that a +4.
All right.
Did we get our fate points and?
Yes,
stress
everything
heals?
is healed and refreshed.
I reset all of you.
Okay, cool. I think I remember something from notes that we were told.
If you have that, then you can address it right now and don't need to roll. But for Frost, I will also address you, but first I'm going to give Mordecai this chance.
If
They
I
weren't going to
remember
do a thing.
If you recall, if you figure out the information, I will give you 2 free fate points right now. And you can carry those over if you don't spend them during this session. You will have stored fate points for next.
Where's my Arcadia shit? Fuck, what did we... It was after the Rictalish. Was it before or after the Halloween special? I don't know.
These are specifically... This whole adventure is specifically about the Undying Shade. So, that is all I will say.
Alright, so... Sorry, I'm sorry. So I remember getting some information about that. I know.
I will give you 3 minutes. I will give you 3 minutes to think
Alright.
real quick.
Alright,
You
I'm
know what?
sorry,
I'm gonna
Pat.
take my timer. Where's my hourglass? Let's go.
Oh,
I'm
not
sorry,
the
chat.
fucking hourglass.
Okay, so oh, here we go. Okay. So.
All right, chat. Mordecai's on the clock. Let's go.
I remember Colton mentioning something about this being his pet project, which led us to believe that the shade was something that he either enhanced or conjured himself. Like conjured as in like turned a foot soldier into an enhanced version of itself. Which clashes a little bit from what Shalou was telling us, but you also mentioned this guy looked like one of the Valoon Spec Ops guys with like the blade arms. Like are they called shades?
They're
Or-
called Valuan Shadows.
Shadows. Okay, so you presented this guy as like an upgrade boss to that.
I did.
So it was the enhanced shadow with moon tech. The stuff we pulled from the ship was part of the stuff used to enhance this shadow. Or at least so we've been led to believe. Yeah.
Correct on all accounts so far.
I pull up my notes, I see it all caps, Dr. Colton is a dead man. I
He
think this
fucking
right.
is. He's a fucking dead man.
Well, this
He is a
true
dead
now,
man,
but
you killed him.
When I wrote this was a threat. Because we had just found Sayla. Okay, I think if I remember correctly, the Undying Shade is part of the Project Xeno. It's Project Zelgius, which I have written down here. It works to modify humans with moonstone shards, experimenting with properties of creatures from the Dark Rift,
Yep.
and seeing what people can take. So, is specifically what I have wrote down here. So, I'm led to believe that this guy was experimented on between moonstone shards, Dark Rift bullshit, and probably other ancient tech and/or occult phenomena. Am I getting warmer or colder?
You're getting hella warmer.
Okay.
You have both hit the mark and also overshot it.
Okay. So what time? I think I'm
You got 40 seconds left on the clock.
Fuck. Okay, so based on what we got originally from the notes from Domehead, what's its fuck? I forget his name. The bad doctor.
Don't
Yeah,
hit what's this fuck?
Oh, Dr.
Yeah.
DeLoco.
Yeah, Dr.
Dr. DeLoco!
That's where we first got access to those notes. Project Z led us to believe that was this. I'm spiraling. I'm going in circles at that point. So, in short, my guess is the shade was either a very well-decorated shadow or a very unfortunate test subject shadow that's like, you failed your mission, but you will still be useful to me. Classic mad scientist bullshit.
All right.
But
I
this
assume
is
you were
the shadow-
telling you were telling Shalu all of this then.
Yes. Sorry, I should have been speaking of Mordecai.
You were on the clock.
You were on the clock.
Yeah, so so I believe in an attempt to overshadow DeLoco, Colton took this opportunity, whatever leads he had that made him arrive at this conclusion, took this tech, imbued this shadow with Moonstone and perhaps some other ancient civilization tech he got based on what you're saying, and created this shade that has been gifted with extraordinary powers, strength, tenacity, and overall bullshit.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me?
I'm allowed to make private rolls on the side, so you can't see them.
I can hear it though.
You can, and that'll be the sound. That'll ring.
I just said big brain Mordecai, but I don't know how far into Galaxy it went. But there it is.
All right. I will give
And that's my
you.
plan.
I will give you the 2 points, Mordecai,
Hey!
Thanks.
because by the combination of your lore keeping and also Vross using his points as well, because Vross, you also add to the fact that it was definitely a Valuan, or not just a Valuan shade, but specifically a war, a prisoner of war who was brought up from kind of Mordecai's situation, someone who was taken from Nasrad and turned into a Valuan shadow, and then brought up into these experiments. So for Shalu,
I just did a quick family head count to make sure it's not like some fucking dumb
God.
plot twist. One of my family, but no, they're all
So-
accounted for.
This would not be the reveal if it was.
no, it is all accounted for. Yes, Frost.
There are a couple of notes that we have in community notes I'm going to just kind of point out here. So,
Okay.
one of the main things that I picked up with the Project Vessel notes that Delashi had posted back in February last year, actually.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
Alred Barlow is one of the potentials, as they are part of the exclusive Glacier tribes of the Purple Moon.
My father.
Very strong, yes. So with Project Vessel, they were looking for people as the precursor, essentially, for this Undying Shade project. People that they can imbue with Moonstones to give them super worldly powers. Now, moving a little bit deeper into Project Zelgius, Dilico and Colton both note that
You're welcome,
the
Colby.
limited injections of magic of silver, purple, and yellow the creations they make are the highest caliber. It seems that only those who are of a strong fortitude, both mentally and physically, like Dr. Colton had a really specific interest in Lord Galcian, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that those who are, aka the strong, are the ones best suited for things like this. So after going through the candidates, we have notes on log 103, which is the more recent one before the Shade broke free from its containment cell. 72 test subjects they went through of Dark Rift infused human hybrid creatures. So as they studied through these things, they were finding candidates who were able to take this on. And now we have this Undying Shade, who is kind of like the peak of their research.
This is correct. There we go. I will give it to the 2 points now to both you, Mordecai, as well as you, Vrost.
I was about to
Hell
get
yeah.
it made some points.
So good job. So Shalu, you know now that this individual, the Undying Shade, is not a member of the Glacier tribe, but a candidate from the Red Moonstone that has been infused with Purple Moonstone magic, as well as magic from the Dark Rift, which that is the thing that is scratching at the back of your mind that you know about and have some information for, but for some reason it does not come out.
Well, seems I will have to take a trip to the Dark Rift here soon.
Yeah,
What
potentially.
fascinating information. What absolutely fascinating information. Thank you so much.
We have a whole list of test subjects from Valua,
You do.
Mm-hmm.
if you'd like to look over it.
You all are quickly becoming my favorite people in this century.
Oh, in this century, alright.
With the caveat, I'd like to potentially throw in there that you're not going to, and forgive me for assuming, but just covering bases, you're not going to seek them out and potentially abduct them and perform non-experiments on them, because I believe as of our last session, you mentioned potentially doing that.
But he never leaves this place, apparently.
Without good reason, I imagine.
That's right. I will, as an act of goodwill, not experiment on them.
Well, I mean, you have almost experimented on some of them already. Some
Listen
of us
here,
were
I've been the
alive.
only science experiment so far. These two, and he points to Elisha and Mordecai, have gotten lucky considering I have been dealing with all these magics. This man exposed my bones.
It's true, and it didn't fix the problem. I'm astounded. I'm sorry about that.
He was like, "Whoa, pulling out the bones, that's the thing."
If you think about it, it's very sensible. If you just rip it out and then regenerate flesh, it should be ordinary flesh. But
You know
here
what
we
else
are.
is sensible? Maybe warning a person first before you throw 3 spells at them?
Probably very sensible. He looks almost embarrassed. Like you see cold sweat dripping down his head. Like, oh no, social etiquette. I don't know.
You
Been so
did
long.
mention manners, but show a distinct lack of them a few times. But that's guilty on both parties at this point. We'll call it even.
Oh no, we're gonna talk about this. No. You wanna go on us about our manners, and then you're gonna do that stuff?
I admit I've done you a wrong. I've done you a wrong. I will make amends in the
Alright.
stone modification. Which brings us back full circle. Mordecai, I never heard what stone you wanted. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. The conversation thus far has been fascinating.
I completely agree.
Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm gonna pull my spear. So this I've had red and yellow moonstone imbued in for quite some time now. I'd say I'm very familiar with these. I'm not sure I have too much more to learn, just some things to master, if that makes sense. I'm gonna pull a very rough-looking dagger that looks like it was salvaged off an old spear, like an old hunting spear, but then tacked up. This has been for my new projects, I suppose. Gonna absently twirl it between my fingers, so I have green and silver in here.
Chat, also, you are all giving me life. Thank you guys. You were absolutely wonderful.
Oh god, what am I missing in chat?
Don't worry
Reading
about
it
it.
through.
No, yeah, I'm going back reading through stuff, and also I'm getting messaged on the side.
Hey, chat's got my back. Thanks for your glasses. So, truth be told, I'm already experimenting with 2 new moonstone types. So I don't know if it would be smarter to potentially invest in blue and put that on my spear, or double down on, say, silver. And
I have a proposal to the GM. What if I gave his spear green, and I basically, instead of giving him the full scope of green, I gave him a green stone that is constantly fixed to use a spell like Sacris, and so he can go on the battlefield and stab whatever he wants, and while he's doing that, as long as he's holding the spear, he's getting constantly healed every action.
You can do an enchantment on something specific that'll do stuff. So you can basically use a stone, assign it a specific enchantment, and because of your knowledge, you can imbue it with something specific for a stone's worth.
am I getting lifesteal? Am I finally getting lifesteal?
It's more like perma regen, is what I'm proposing here. So he goes, would you consider yourself a warrior? Someone on the front lines attacking in melee?
I'm usually the deepest one in the thick of it.
How about this?
He's usually balls deep, as we
Oh,
say.
yeah.
I see. Well, how about this? Since you're normally the deepest one in the fight, and you already know all these magics, what if I take your spear, give you a green moonstone, but I fix it with an enchantment? I can give it some healing magic like Sacris, And effectively what this will do is you'll be able to cast your other 2 magics freely, you win the thick of a fight, but as long as you're fighting, you'll be constantly healed by Sacris. You won't need to use the spell to heal it. It will be a fixed spell that is always being used as long as you're holding your weapon. So, the wounds that you accumulate will heal themselves and mend themselves, and you'll be able to fight even better. I'm sure you've come to close death scenarios once or twice and have had this issue.
I'm gonna pull my shirt back again and show a few more mundane scars, including like the one that like the Valuan shadow like plunged into my shoulder and hip when I was like holding the line.
Out of curiosity, if that casts Sacrilid, does it remove scars?
It can actually.
You want those removed?
No, it's they make
Let's say-
it
The battle scars attract ladies.
also that.
I see. Well, in that case, how would
That
you
being
like
said,
the
if you're looking
enchantment?
for a- That being said, if you're looking for a fun project, first of all, I didn't mean to cut you off. That sounds wonderful. If you're looking for a fun healing project, I don't know if I've shown you this neat trick yet. And I'm gonna pull my pant leg up a little bit and show my prosthetics.
Oh.
You see that he has 2 prosthetics that look very green moonstone magic to you. Green moonstone magic enchanted.
What are the odds I could either make him actual limbs or better prosthetics?
Ah.
Wow, that is
Huh.
a very good question.
Well,
Productive session for Mordecai.
Should I use wild magic on them again?
so, it depends on the information that is shared. Would we like to go on one more quick round of info dumping as I have the timer here, right, ready?
Do you want to dig into this, Mordecai?
I was taking notes. What?
How much do you want to say about your prosthetics?
Oh fuck.
3 minutes on the clock, Omek.
God damn it.
Legends of the Hidden Temple style.
You're on the clock again.
Jesus, hold on a second. Wait.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, let me put a timer on my watch. Okay. Fuck's sake. I'm sorry, y'all. This has been.
Do not apologize.
This has
This is
been
great.
interesting.
This has been like the lull between the adventures where you just get kitted out of the ass.
Yeah.
This is technically your level up.
Oh,
Or
okay.
it's really where your guys adventuring and figuring out, oh hey, there's a lot of things we can do. This is your training arc right now.
All right.
Alright, ready? And
Sure.
go.
All right. So the long and short of it is, I was in a horrible accident. Woke up in a Valuan facility. Fuck, I'm getting flustered. Woke up with a prototype of these legs. I was a test subject for this. I was the guinea pig, so to speak. I eventually got upgraded into these, and trial and error. They connect through nerve endings. I'll show him the process of taking them off and putting them on again. It sucks. You see him wince. It's bad. So these are great. I know rudimentary how to fix them, but these are state of the art. These are not widespread. From what I understand, ancient Nasirians, ancient Red Civilization, if they weren't called Nasirians, and Sylvites worked together on converting body parts back and forth between prosthetics. We found out recently who these belong to. It is actually the kidnapped wife of a friend of mine. Yes, I know.
Yes,
It's
the one that
fucking-
he's searching for.
I love your open mouth right there.
It's crazy. We
Yeah.
figured this out very recently through a bout of wild magic that returned him to normal
He had lady legs.
from the kneecap down. It was awful. Thigh down. Whatever. I digress. So, these experimental and made out of organic material. The test subject is still alive in a vat somewhere. She's also missing her arm, if that's relevant. We don't know where that is.
Somewhere in
believe-
Valua.
And we believe the local was using me as a guinea pig because if something went wrong with me, whatever, I'm just a test subject. If I died, it's fine. Oh fuck, what else am I missing? I covered the ancient Sylvite thing. I
think you covered most of it.
Yeah,
I think you
covered
did.
most of what I know. I will.
In what you want to say.
Yeah, I'll be open book about it. Like this
This
guy
is
said.
completely open book. This is why I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, do you want to tell everything?
Yeah. So, and I'll go over like what I know of the mechanics of it. I thought for a while they were primarily yellow powered. I guess that's always.
You
that's what
believe
some
they were
thought.
yellow power, yes.
I was led to believe they were powered by yellow moonstone magic.
For his body, because his body is I will set the timer on the side. For his body, because his body is specifically attuned to the yellow moonstone, it has been supplemented by yellow moonstone energy. But as he's growing stronger with green moonstone energy, it slowly is taking on its stronger nature.
Oh.
And now the timer's back up.
Oh shit.
Interesting.
So anyway, they felt a little good recently, aside from the.
What other experiments have been done on you?
Excuse me? Oh, I'm gonna pull up the eye patch. This is irrelevant to this problem. This is the.
These are
Are you
completely
sure?
separate things.
Are you sure? It's one body. It might all be together. Are all of you experiments that I
Most of
walked
us.
out of a labor? And you just see like his brain explode and go. Wow.
When it comes to damaged goods, I am the most damaged, I believe. At least on the outside. We can talk about the eye if you wish, but
Alright. There's the lore info dump timer.
yeah.
That was nicely done.
Yeah, it was. Good job.
Very interesting.
Sorry
Alright.
for
Those
being
of
put
you
on the spot so
unfamiliar
much.
with Mordecai bullshit
Oh.
in the chat,
There you go. There it is.
he lost his legs and eye before the game started by 6-7 years, somewhere in there. And I was in balloon captivity for that time until the beginning. The end of the first session.
What are the odds that I can better help Delashi here control the statistical improbability of wild magic?
All
Yeah,
right.
Mark, that's a good question.
Oh god, am I getting lady legs again?
I'm literally I'm here to buff every single person in this party. I gave Elisha the ability to make bullets.
Yeah.
Frost.
Bullets.
I can technically summon a JoJo stand, but we're gonna have me make bullets.
Now we're getting into more of the meat.
JoJo stand. What?
All right.
Do lady legs on purpose, Mordecai, okay?
What?
I won't do it on purpose, lady legs. I won't do it on purpose.
That sounds like
If you got another idea for how you want Elisha to become boosted, you gotta just say something in character. We can go.
All right.
More weird than one.
Currently, let's focus on the wild magic train.
All right, wild magic. Yes.
Currently, for wild magic,
Listening?
Delcy is rolling a D42. There are 42 combative spells between the different moons.
All right. Okay.
However, 6 of these spells are for the selective Black Moonstone spell list.
Pretty good.
Yep. I would say you can, through working with Delashi, you can better navigate the randomization of magic. And what you can do is you can do 3 rolls and have to make a choice of high or low. And then, depending on choosing high or low, you will see what pool you have to use. Whether you won't know if you're correct in guessing high or low. It's basically split 42 in half. That'll be your number for high or low judgment. And if you guess high, you could get a choice of all 3 of the spells if they are all above the halfway mark. Although if you are wrong in this assumption, then you will get nothing out of the 42. But that is the better choice. As that is what your control is. Basically, leyline control is what Shalu is offering. As he flexes a ring that he has, Solomon's Ring. It is an
Ooh.
enchanted artifact that allows him to grasp the ley lines of magic between the moons and the planet itself.
So you'd be willing to give me an artifact, even though
It's none.
Literally
He's
something
not
as
giving you
basic
the
as
artifact. He's teaching you how to better
Okay.
analyze the ley lines.
I'm
okay.
afraid I'm going to need to continue to have this. However, I can impart upon you the knowledge I have gleaned from this artifact.
Okay.
If you're willing to learn.
I am willing to learn.
Excellent. In regards to these prosthetics,
Oh, we're
I
back to the
bel-
prosthetics.
well, I'm trying to give all of you something meaningful as a nice gift. I have learned some wonderful information. This is.
We have much
I'm
more
in a great-
information.
I'm in
have
a
so
great
much
mood.
more.
I love you people. Fantastic mood.
Are we
So-
still going with that green enchantment thing though? Because that did sound nice.
Yes, I've got you. I've got you covered. If any of you would prefer that your instead of going a brand new moonstone and having access to that magic, would you prefer permanent enchantment? Please let me know and I can make that change. It's very simple. But as far as your legs, what do you think, Mr. Powerful GM? Do I have enough knowledge to improve this?
You have enough knowledge, actually, with what you've said and stated. You are giving him the information and knowledge that if he better focuses and learns with green moonstone energy and moonstone power, utilizing his nature to learn magic for it, he will better increase his affinity for his legs and thus increase his power with them. It is already fundamentally a near perfect design from an old school standpoint. However,
Perfect.
it's the compatibility that needs to be worked on,
I
and
see.
this was
It's
the
the
lacking
software, not
issue.
the hardware.
Yep.
Okay. While I'm at it, would it be advantageous to add a binary toggle of Slipara to the nerve endings of his prosthetics that he can toggle on or off so that when he removes them it's not nearly as painful?
Yeah, that's very simple enough that you could do.
Alright. So, now in character what I'm going to explain is, Mordecai, your issue with these legs are a flawless gift from the heavens. Or science itself, actually. I credit all science with everything good in the world. The issue with it is your body. I can see that you are a primarily yellow moonstone individual. However, as I'm giving you this green moonstone, as you learn more green moonstone, your prosthetics are imbued with green.
That is news.
The more you align yourself with green, the stronger and more natural these prosthetics will become, and they will give you greater power. Nothing wrong with using red and yellow, but by all means, continue to use green. I think the green enchantment I will be giving you will help you with this, as, you know, your wounds will be healed by green magic, and it will become a better part of your body, and you will assimilate with these prosthetics, and they will turn you into a greater force. In addition, though, if you give me these prosthetics, I can add a very simple magic to them, so that when you attach them or remove them, it won't cause you pain with your nerve endings.
Nice.
Well, I appreciate the second offer, and this may seem silly, but I think I will decline.
Very well. It's your choice.
It is-
I'm just here to give you possibilities.
These are not mine. It's been strange ever since I figured out the original owner. If at all possible, somewhere down the line, I intend to give these up and give them back.
That would be a crime to science, but a reasonable decision.
That's going to be the title of my autobiography.
My God, what a disaster. I mean, what a reasonable choice. Yeah.
I do appreciate it, but it's paying my
Alright.
penance, I suppose.
Well,
I don't expect it to make sense.
this covers everything. Delashi.
Lisha.
Frost. Technically speaking, yes, I'm doing Lisha a disservice here. I'm teaching Lisha how to better assist with Frost. But Lisha, is there anything on your...
Jeez, sorry.
Sorry, I've just been stunned by a great musical symphony inside my head. I'm giving Frost a great deal of things. Lisha, I'm afraid I don't know you well enough. Is there anything in particular you think that my knowledge or wisdom could assist you with? As you can see, I've made suggestions and improvements for Mordecai, Valashi, and Frost, and, you know, having you assist him and bullets, but is there anything that you think my knowledge could better serve or help you with? I am afraid that other than these suggestions for magic with sneaking, it's not necessarily my forte, but I'm open to possibilities. If you'd like to tell me things.
How can you summarize to basically kill undead things that aren't supposed to die, but we're gonna kill them anyways?
don't. Does white magic work in this game like it should? If you Reslim the undead, are they gonna die?
In
I don't
most
think I have
normal
much help for
cases.
I assume that your question was specifically in regards to the immortal being that you've got on your ship. So you want to ask about?
Yeah.
Just casually.
Yeah. So he looks at you and he's like, "I'm not quite sure. Back in my day, these individuals were difficult to kill, and I would need more time studying them. In fact, I'll be frank with you all. I have a proposal. I have something brewing in my mind, and I like this information that you've shared with all of me enough favorably to tell you what's going on in the inner machinations of my mind, and that is that I am tempted. I am extremely tempted to do one of two things. One, I could relieve you of your burden and take this shade here and continue to research it. Or two, I could join you. I'm not a man that ever leaves, but I am tempted to join you on your ship. Not on any of your journeys. I'm not interested in the going places and fighting things, but be there to be by this being's side and continue to research it to find a way to kill it and further learn from it. It is a fascinating endeavor to meet the pinnacle of research and culmination of knowledge, and B, something that reminds me of the old era and the lands of something that is in my memory but I can't quite reach. This knowledge, this information is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I think you all are of reasonable character that my further assistance would not be absurd and could perhaps be beneficial. But to succinctly answer your question, how can I kill it right now? I don't have an answer, I'm afraid. Silver magic, it seems, I suspect, would not work, and I need more time, more knowledge. That's free. That's a free question. Certainly you were curious, and I'm happy to provide you the answer. This is all part of this information sharing, but is there anything in particular that you, specifically you focused, would like empowered or assistance with, or anything at all?
Oh no, I'm already empowered enough when I'm mad. Making bitches go to sleep is good enough for me.
I
Making
mean, you
bitches
can
go...
make it where you no longer are hurt as bad when you're super angry, like, some sort of shield or something. Because right now, every time you're angry and you get to fighting, they get some good blows on you, honey, and I want to make sure you stay safe.
There's also the potential possibility of you tapping into that in a more calm
What are you, a berserker?
Sure. Whatever that is, yes.
I see. I could...
I'm not going to say anything. Whatever you share is whatever you share.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait. I want to see how this unfolds.
I have no further context, but I'm happy, since I've assisted everybody else and I feel that I've slightly done you a disservice, to make you some, perhaps, equipment, much like, it would not be nearly as effective as Mordecai's green moonstone, healing him through the battle, but it could be some armor that would heal minor wounds, or, if you prefer, a armor or an item that has curia attached to it. That could perhaps, if you needed to, cure your adverse side effects of whatever it is that makes you so angry, if there's any downsides that come with it. Or a mixture of both. I don't know enough information to give you the context, but I'm spitballing ideas in terms of equipment or items. If this sounds useful, excellent, let me know. And if this doesn't sound useful and you'd like something else...
I mean, it does sound useful. I just, when I'm angry, and it's like a double-edged sword, as they say.
I want you to know that in my head, I'm picturing like an angry, like, wife. Like, why didn't you do the dishes? I'm gonna beat you now. And you're like, oh, no.
Imagine that, but with fire.
Did we tell you how Dr. Colton died during that whole spiel?
Yeah.
Big hole in his chest after she punched it.
My God, where does that come from? Are you, is she like naturally embodied with the element of fire in her?
If you
Like,
replace
can I
the
just-
word naturally with experimented, and then if you replace embodied with moonstone, then yeah, sure.
Do you have a fire moonstone in your body?
Yes.
Would you like that to be improved?
That sounds terrifying. And
Would you like to know more?
what are you saying, Mark?
Nothing! I'm just waiting. I am waiting on bated breath. I've-
Reel that bait right out of you.
Yeah, idiot.
I don't know anything.
You talk too fast when you read your lips. Shut the fuck up! I suppose in a sense you could improve it. It's kind of been touched before and improved and controlled before by a friend.
Shalu, would you like to examine the crystal embedded into Lisha's neck?
I'm gonna give you a heads up.
I was gonna say, I was like, first, I have a very critical out of character question. Where is this gem embedded? And am I doing another cultural wrong? We're good. It's a neck. Okay, yes, absolutely. Yes, let me take a look.
All right, Lisha, I need you to roll a save. I need you to roll that.
This could be bad.
So
About this?
it's for your contract. I need you to roll your contract save.
Wait, I'm
So you need a
fine.
5,
I'm excluded
right?
in the contract.
Yes, you are excluded from the contract, but this is just a defensive for herself.
All right.
All right, congrats,
Well,
you
with-
do pass.
With our new lowered cap, thanks,
Wow,
boy.
crushed it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
We aren't
you-
wasting fate points on it
It,
anymore.
it starts to glow defensively for itself, and then eases itself.
It's like someone pulled a Glock, like, defensively. I need you to move.
Shalu, you see that there is moonstone embedded directly into this neck and spine of Lisha. It is almost incredibly hard to tell the difference between bone, skin, and the stone. As the red moonstone itself is very... Well, one of the few crystals that actually melds together well, from what you know of, with flesh. You know, within this time period, even though it was something that was of loose experimentation in your time period, that moonstones themselves cannot be embedded directly into a person's body without being detrimental or almost explosive to the host. So having successful ventures in this is very few and far between. There are...
The people out here are really doing the Lord's will. God bless you in the name of science. I'll never say that in character, but in my mind, I'm like, I don't know who the fuck these people are that experimented on this crew, but God bless them. Like, these are my people.
My God.
That is the Valuas!
They kidnapped them and experimented on them against
The
their
law.
will, but these are my people.
They made incredible progress in the name of science. This is not a good character. Okay. This is a-
Okay, just make sure you don't say that in character.
Never. But in my mind and out of character context, he's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Who's our
You-
scientist?
You can do one of two things for Lisha.
Okay.
Either one, you could work towards removing the stone. However, it will take the course of about a week.
Okay.
But you could actually remove the stone.
Okay.
Or two, you can give her better control over the stone and allow her body to manifest more naturally the Red Moonstone's power within her weapons and herself.
I have a really silly question, but
Yes.
this is because I'm a guest and I get to make silly questions. What if I knock her to sleep, kill her, by using silver magic? Wait, I'm not crazy, I swear. Using silver magic to kill her, using silver magic to decompose the flesh around the gem, like take it out, and/or after I've removed the flesh around the gem, augment it with further magic or gemstones or supplements so that it has a medium between the flesh and the gemstone, so that it is properly used, and then revive her afterwards after I've basically just done some like operation surgery on her.
Specifically because of the nature of Moonstone human embedment, you know this will not work. Because
I
you
see.
actually need the actual consciousness of the host to help you better remove and modify the stone itself. It is a process, one that you can do delicately. However, that is the caveat of it. It's
see.
like open heart surgery, and you need the patient to be realizing what is going where.
I see. So, I have good news and I have bad news. What would you like to hear first, Lisha?
My whole life is bad news. What more? Oh, dog!
Oh, hi, doggy.
Shut up.
Mordecai's like, you can't call me that. What the hell?
So I mean, okay, not you. You, where's your face? Give me your face. Give me your face. Not you. You good. Just all I can say is that like whenever I'm knocked out, chances are that you might be extra wispy. That's all.
Great. Well, the bad news is that I can't modify this by myself. The good news is I can do one of two things for you. I can either remove this if you wish to have this removed, or if you'd like to work with me in about a week-long process in which we become casual business partners, but not really friends, I can use your cooperation to modify the gemstone's properties so that you have better control over it. However, effectively, I am doing a surgical procedure on you that needs your will and involvement and cooperation. I cannot modify this by myself because it is so directly embedded in you. I need your agreement and to do this over a period of time. But if you give me a week, I can make you a much stronger individual in terms of influence over this gem and the powers it may manifest on your body. I can only do one of these two things.
I mean, the latter sounds more beneficial because it has come in handy, like when you know you gotta punch holes through things.
I completely agree. It just means that I'm going to need a week of your time, and if that's okay, then excellent.
Do we have a week?
He looks at you like, why are you asking me that? I have century. I have
I'm asking
years.
you, old man. I know you got
think-
forever.
I think let's just ask us.
That makes so much more sense. I'll just be over here in
You
shame.
have 3 people in the room.
Currently, I mean, yes, because who knows how much we'll gain from, the little adventure he's gonna set us on. And you owe quite a lot of money, so we might have to go do something else. So while we're doing that, you could stay here with him.
It's fine.
How
How much money do you need? Wait a second. How much money do you need?
How much was it again?
30,000 at least.
How much money I got, Mark?
On hand, there's definitely trinkets and trades and treasures. It would take some time to sell various things, but you could make that decently enough, at least to 20,000 easily. In the dungeon itself, you presume there could be more facets of gold.
I have great news for you. I have fantastic news for you.
Okay.
I'm not interested in having you all, well, actually, I don't particularly mind, but you all have an urgent situation. This dungeon that I'm going to set you all upon may have 10,000 or more in terms of wealth, and I have some trinkets and bubbles that I'm not using that I can give you to sell to pay off your debt. And the entire reason I'm doing this is because I'm a man devoted to science, and I would like to continue to research and assist you in helping you with this magic. Now, you all have these wonderful adventures and quests and things that you must be on, but what I will do, since this is a fascinating process, and my benefit is that I get to learn more, your benefit is that you become much stronger, I will go with you in the dungeon. I will first spend a day to make all the modifications, provide them to you. I will go with you into a dungeon, and when you guys are not adventuring and gallivanting, I will take Lisha aside and work on this process, hopefully doing it in the dungeon and then perhaps after. And depending on how much profit we find and how much I can sell, you can get your matters fixed, and then I can hopefully continue to be with you all for a week. And then beyond that, we can see how we all get along, and perhaps I'll join you on the ship, or perhaps I'll take the undying being off of your hands. I'm fine with that. That's
So
cool.
you are willing to join our group?
Yes, but I'm not going to fight on your behalf. But I'll be here for science.
Well, we'll have to have a discussion about
We'll
that.
talk. We'll put a pin in
This
that.
has
We'll
been
put
a
pin
very
in
productive few hours.
it. Agreed. And that's why, we'll have a whole dungeon. I'll be there in the back. Not in the front.
Call it
Chilling.
Non-combative.
Not
Right.
another.
Look, I
I'll
can't be
give
a
it
guest
a
here
try.
forever. I've got to become more NPC.
Call it a tryout.
Yes. But anyways, sounds like a win-win-win-win-win. So if you all give me your weapons and would like to camp the night, I'll be back tomorrow morning with modifications.
I'm gonna.
Also, the group.
Actually, I don't keep it here. I keep it on the back of my hip. I'm gonna pull out like a like a short sword. But I'm gonna flip a switch on it. The haft of it's gonna collapse out into like a glaive. I'm gonna hand it.
Nice. She's gonna like, just hold. He's gonna start like holding them like he's like holding like logs in his hand. Just like, all right, just pile on the weapons here. My arms.
Ross takes out the problem solver, makes sure the toxic's in, makes sure like it's all prim and proper, gently sets it down into his
Thank you very
arms.
much. Looks at the other two.
Asha hands over her daggers, make sure they're all in sheaths as well.
All right, and Delashi.
I'm trusting you.
I am trusting you to
Don't
not.
fuck up my whip.
I'm gonna
Mordecai.
improve your whip. It's an
He's
upgrade.
giving the whip.
And
Gosh, you
then
never let go of the whip.
I know.
I carefully place it in his hands.
Excellent.
Hey,
Well-
before you take off, question though. There was a small child that grabbed a hold of my gun, apparently put some black energy in that. Do you know anything about that kind of stuff?
oh man, fuck.
I know a lot about everything. Why don't I take a
When you
look?
come back tomorrow, we'll talk.
Excellent.
Are we about to part ways? Is that what is happening?
Well, I'm gonna go to my chamber. You're welcome to look around and make a campfire, do whatever you like.
You've given us plenty of food for thought. I'm asking for dessert. If you don't mind me asking, because it is rude in certain circles, but how old are you, roughly? Because you've been speaking about ancient things as if you were there firsthand.
You also said that we're your favorite group of this century.
Mhm. Context.
Do I remember how old I am?
Yes, you are about 65 years old. And you
Bullshit.
I promise. I promise.
65 to about 70 years old, around that roughly age gap. And
Physical appearance, I imagine.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
would you like to would you like to post your I think I posted you could post your picture. I think we have.
Allow me to shoot my shot here and see how right or wrong I was. While you were having your aside, while you were doing your big think, and seemed to be checked into another brain channel, I've had the thoughts of, since you were able to break down and reassemble bodies, mostly the same, yes?
That's right.
Could you perhaps use the same magic to do the same thing to yourself gradually and slow your own aging? This seems like something you would dabble in.
I may have the ability to do this.
Okay. Just curious. Because once again, you have said several things throughout this conversation in the last that make us believe, at least me, that you have seen more than your fair share of years.
I have seen a great deal of years, but if you must know my technical age, it is about 67.
Okay. Let me specify it. How many years ago were you born? Because is it the same answer?
I'm gonna let the GM answer this one. And he can do whatever he wants with that.
About 3,000 years ago.
Holy shit.
Sounds about right.
You should have been drinking your milk when you said that.
All
Where'd
right.
it go? So what he says is, there's a small discrepancy in my age and when I was born. He says it very calmly.
This
not
also
like
tells me we need to be very specific in our wording of questions for you. So here's another one.
sure.
Is the name Eris familiar to you?
I need you to roll me lore, my friend.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, you got it.
Go
Let's
ahead and roll me lore, Shalu.
And if it'll assist his roll, I will pull out a notebook and show him a sketch.
Yeah, don't you also add to that roll since it's
He
not
does,
in
he does.
I had 5.
It's 5.
Does me showing like a sketched picture help?
I will allow him one reroll.
Alright. I will go ahead and do my...
We've established Mordecai's a decent artist.
Oh my god! Eris is like, fuck you guys!
I don't
The name sounds familiar, but it's very elusive.
have any fate points that I can burn.
Technically you do.
I'm a man of science. If this sounds familiar, I'm going to say, wait, let me think on it, and I'm going to roll again and burn a fuck ton of fate points. Thank you.
As he's burning fate points, you see him look through his vast library and just dart off after he looks at the picture.
I'm burning however many fate points you think is...
If I'm medicating correctly, that's a 6.
That is
right.
a 6.
You just
That
need
is-
1 to reroll, and then plus the 5 that you already have, you're good.
Alright, well
You
there we
don't
go.
need to use fate points, I don't
The
think.
the benefit of this being apparently an RP heavy, as I was
Yeah.
expecting more dungeon crawly, you
You're a
have all your
fool.
fate points to spend.
That's
You're
true.
Ooh. This is not how the GM thought this was going to go tonight, but here we are.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
we've
always
been
like
having
that.
a lot of character chemistry, and I dig that. That's
Yeah.
I
that's
like
most
it,
of the
yeah.
reason I play the game anyway, so it's fine. And we have the dungeon for next time.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
Um,
trying to keep you around as long as possible.
You're stuck with us.
I'm here to give you great benefits.
You already have.
Yeah. But it's also
he
been fun, which is more important.
he looks through and finds that there is a informational book of Sylvites that he has, and that they are listed at. Give me 1 second. I need to see if I need to check my notes for this now.
Ah, fool.
That's community notes. I need. Where's my Lord
For
Bane
benchmark
notes?
for making me blitz through 2 notebooks in 3
Yeah.
minutes.
This is what you get.
Where's my Lord Bane
Yeah,
notebook?
by the way-
Okay, here we go.
Your
Walmart's
Lord
doing
Bane
this.
notebook?
Yeah,
Yep.
so granted, this is not all for Arcadia. I think Arcadia starts right here.
How much is it for? How much is it, Arcadia?
So Arcadia
Yeah.
is this much of this notebook, and then my entire progress in this notebook. This notebook is for
Aw.
Arcadia specifically.
It's our campaign.
This starts at session 2 because the first session was a lot of admin, but
It was, yeah.
My god.
yeah.
I want you to know at the start of today's journey, I was like, alright, what am I doing? He's like, you're going to help them expand their minds. And I'm like, okay, and here we are, several
You
hours
expand
later.
your mind.
Standing in the exact same spot.
Galaxy brain.
Galaxy
So much
brains.
galaxy brain going
All
This
right.
session is brought to you by Lordum. Lordum, learn your lore today.
on.
I will have to get back to a last name for Eris. But you do find a manifest of Sylvites that went into cold sleep. Eris's name is listed among those that you find. Eris. You also find her last name, which I will get back to you on that
sure.
as soon as I find it, because I apparently don't have it in my Lord Bane notes.
That's
And he's
Is
supposed
she-
to know everything.
He's supposed to know everything.
Now, what would a Sylvite go into cold sleep for and end up on the ghost train?
So what you find, the reason why Eris was in cold sleep is that she was a list of dignitaries. I want to say ambassadors for the Sylvites higher government. Some of them that you know of, Shalu, are actually supposed to still be living on the moon itself.
real shit.
However, you don't know if there'd be any current method to get to the moon, since the Rains of Destruction have wiped a lot of the slate clean. There would need to be investigations in order to find out some sort of transport or passage to get onto the moon itself.
Well, thank God I have these lovely adventurers here.
Oh man. Alright, time to open up one of the 3 paths. I had for-
Living on the moon.
How long have you been waiting for this, Mark?
I've been waiting for this for fucking ever. I'm like, oh,
Alright.
okay, we'll just stick with the war arc. Alright, let's go.
And now there's more. So he informs you all about cold sleep, and then he closes the book and he looks at all of you. He's like, I have a critical mission for all of you, regardless of if I go with you or not. You see, and so he explains about Sylvites and cold sleep, and some of these dignitaries are probably living on the moon right now as we speak.
Yep.
And he says, you see, long ago, I once had a hope to go to the moon and see how my fellow Sylvites were doing, but this ambition died, and I had no one quite qualified to go do this, and no one I could trust. But as you've said, this has been a productive few hours, and I think that we will continue to have a beautiful relationship, regardless of whether I go with you or not. I am entrusting you all with this very important duty, to find out if there is a way, be it ship, magic, or otherwise, to get to the moon. If you are able to give me any of this information, perhaps another gemstone, equipment, or other information is important, because you see, I have some very important. Yes, I read that.
Yep.
I have some very important business I must do on the moon.
There was a rumor I heard while I was in Valua prison. Apparently there's some sort of whale that people use to go to the moon.
Is this the
Like-
same whale that might have
We're
the
supposed
item we're
to,
looking for?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's the same whale. This one was a bit bigger, and it said it was like black and red, and it just kind of rises up into the sky until it pierces the stars. And it's just a weird tale this man kept jabbering on about. Like, he had to get his airship and then his crew go down to the dwarves to go and get this other thing, to get the lunar whale to go up to the moon to
God
fight his
damn it.
best half brother or something. Like, he just kept going on and on and made no sense.
This is incredible. Could you give me the full summary of this story?
Oh, God damn it.
Like rabbits as well.
Yeah, that motherfucker mentioned some sort of rabbits or something on there. Like, things only stood about 2 foot tall, and their names was like pudding whale or something like that. Man wouldn't stop talking about it. Like, I just don't understand.
Shalu gets interested in folklore.
Oh my god.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
You had my ass
He
so
doesn't know.
bad for a minute there. I'm like, oh wow, you got an actual word up. Wait a second, I've heard this story.
Yeah, I was like, I know exactly
I saw
where.
the fucking smile.
Yeah, you had my ass so good for a minute, and it's like, wait a second.
And at first, I'm like, oh, is he talking about the arc whale? I'm like, oh, not specifically. It was like, never mind.
As it went on, you kind of could tell what the direction I was going with this. Thank you, Final Fantasy. Which has the critic,
To the OG
I'm not gonna
Destiny
say the
fans
shitpost.
out
I'm not gonna
there,
say the
so are
shitpost.
you? To the OG Destiny fans out there, so are you telling me that wizard came from the moon?
I'm saying that there are some Sylvites on the moon, and it is important to me, perhaps one of my most important missions that I still have to do, that I go to the moon.
Why?
Frost, I'm gonna need that flashback.
Till the sound shows that it's empty. Here, take mine. Gives you hits.
Why is a matter of I would like to meet with my fellow Sylvites and ask them some questions, the likes of which I'm afraid contain information from a long time ago that while I deeply enjoy all of you, it's not something I'm ready to speak to you about just yet.
If it's from a long time ago, then what's the problem?
He just kind of grins and says, there isn't technically a problem. How do I put this?
Have we not ourselves stumbled upon several bits of ancient forbidden knowledge that was best left undiscovered? Yes?
Let me first preface this with, if you hear any rumors about a giant whale further, let me know. What do you know about Gigas?
Oh, we've
No.
As Ross just puts his phone down.
Excuse me?
There's a green one.
Yeah,
there's a red one.
We've directly dealt with 2 of them.
we've held the green Gigas
Oh, man.
crystal in our hands, and almost been incinerated by the red.
Mark, you don't know what they're doing to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of information.
Yeah.
Mark, the power. Well, the purple Gigas is a whale.
Uh-huh.
It is a
Arc whale.
Yes, it is an arc whale. It will, if you find it, this would have perhaps the capabilities I would need.
So you're telling me that the purple gigas is a whale out in the world,
That's right.
which could very be Mordecai, the same whale that has the thing we need.
Mm-hmm.
What capabilities are you referring to?
I just
Or
need
move.
someone to do the Kronk meme of he was a man that was over at the merchant shop. It's it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
The capabilities to bring
Oh
me
yes,
to the moon.
poison. Cusco's poison. The poison deal is specifically for Cusco.
What do you know? What do you know about the starting of your era and how it began?
I don't know. I don't know how to read.
I heard there's
Bullshit,
a
Ross.
big like
Would you like to
Earth
know?
endings thing, and then there was like some
That's
dude
right.
that like sacrificed himself.
That's
and
right.
then things were like the
What-
same anymore. And
what if I
like,
told
the
you-
murder changed, and there's a dragon.
God damn it.
A dragon.
Get your other lore out of here.
Mordecai's gonna take a second and trace the quill in the air in front of Ross and just say, "You're an idiot," in the air, just like, "Yeah, read that."
Read
What
that,
if I told
motherfucker.
you
Read
that
that.
the individuals responsible for ending this world
He's
And
gonna give you a
resetting
little,
it. are on the moon?
Fuck with me. Sorry, what?
The individuals responsible for ending this world as you know it and resetting it are on the moon.
Oh,
So what
Lovely.
would be the point of going and talking to them then?
Oh,
I do hope
He-
you're not
a very
intending to
meaningful
invite them
smile,
around
like-
too.
I'm gonna talk
No.
to them. And that same look of like, Lisha when she gets pissed, like, I'm gonna give them a nice
No,
talk.
do they have ridiculous names like Puddingway?
Oh my god.
I've never heard of such a Sylvite with the name Puddingway, but it is entirely possible. Regardless, it is important to me, and if perhaps you all would like to come as well, you're welcome to speak to those responsible for doing this to the world. One of my missions in life. And it seems that our interests align, all the more reason perhaps if this goes well we should go together, since you are also on a quest to seek out the purple Gatus. What is it that you need in the Arc Whale?
The weapon, isn't it?
Some oh, they had a fucking name.
I can't remember the name.
Which Gigas?
But
The whale.
Purple. The Arc Whale.
Purple.
The Arc Whale, Rocknum.
we were told, and like Mark, because we don't know the lore, we might be going way off track here.
Not a problem.
But we were told that an arc whale has the weapon we're looking for. I'm trying to.
Yeah,
trying
you
to-
remember to do with Bane Isle?
Mm-hmm. One of the Lost Bane weapons that
Yeah.
can be reclaimed for Ross to have claim towards
The
the
Lost
Fox
Bane
Tribe.
what?
So far, you have dealt with 2 Gigas, Rekumen? Oh, give me 1 second. Oh wait, no, maybe it wasn't Rekumen.
But hold on, if there was a red Gigas,
Grendel.
there was
Grendel was the green Gigas, and then Rekumen was the red Gigas. Those are the 2 that you know of and have dealt with. And then the purple Gigas is Rocknum, or the whale is named Rocknum.
So Mark, this is very fun, because they said it's the Bane weapon, and he said, who the fuck is the Bane?
Oh,
who
you
knows?
want to tell him, Broth?
But before we get into that, I just so there's a red Gigas, a green Gigas, and every time there's a purple Gigas. Is there a Gigas for like every moon that's out there?
Yes.
What are the other ones?
Their names, as Shalu will now tell you,
What?
as we info dump. Rekumen the red Gigas, Grendel the green Gigas, Blueheim, the blue Gigas, Yelger, the yellow Moonstone Gigas, Rocknam, the purple Moonstone Gigas, and Zelos, the Sylvite Gigas.
Okay.
Okay, so we know the location of 2. Third one, a bit of a mystery. Now, you tell me there's all these other ones. Like, do we have any information on where they might be?
Shalu would just hazard a guess there within their respective nations, aside from whatever ones that you might have dealt with.
Yeah. Don't know. But more on this Bane. Did you say that he is a weapon in the Gigas?
No. So, alright. There's a clan out here in the world that is called the Bane clan. Now, our leader, Lord Bane, always keeps his identity a mystery. The thing is, he's a symbol of the people, someone to rise up against the evil that is Volu. Volu's constantly trying to take over things. Bane's like a ragtag team of mercenaries that want to stand up against it.
Sure.
Now, with that, Bane has a lot of tools at his disposal. His inner circle is his fox guard. They all look the same. They all look like each other. But they have like an iconic weapon that shows them like, hey, like this is another aspect of Bane. Well, one of these weapons has gone missing. So my duty for me to rise up in rank and get to the next, the next rung of my ladder, I have to find one of these weapons to lay claim to the empty fox guard spot. Problem is, I had one and lost it. And this other one supposedly in some sort of whale, and now I ain't no kind of whale, I'm just a cowboy.
That is a series of unfortunate events that I have just heard.
Right.
Well,
That's been our adventure.
Your lives are perhaps some of the most eventful I've ever witnessed.
Frost, evens or odds?
Oh god.
Odds.
Alright.
Never tell me the odds.
Yeah, I was about to say, never tell him the odds. What the hell?
That's fair.
Next log updated. Get the old man to the moon. Yeah.
Gotta get that man to the moon.
What was the name of a disaster that reset the planet, by the way?
This motherfucker rolled even. I know he rolled even.
Yeah, he
What was
probably
the
fucking
what was the name of the disaster? Calamity or whatever?
The name of the calamity? Lore check.
Whatever.
Okay, I need to ask. Ross, you decide to also show him Shalu the Bane sigil crest.
The one that's on his jacket, the one that's on his belt
No,
buckle,
like specifically
the crest itself.
yes, and in a
Okay.
bit of detail.
Right, so he'd pull out and show it as he's talking about, because he's got the belt buckle of the symbol, he's got it on the 3-piece patch on the back of the duster, like, you can tell this guy's part of the clan, and he just shows him this symbol.
And it was something that Shalu didn't take notice of before until you more directly address it. Okay, here we go. I thought
Why do I feel like I'm gonna be even saltier than I already am?
It's been a very spicy session.
Mm.
That's all I'm
Also,
gonna say.
Mark, what was the name of like the calamity whatever? You've called it something very specific a couple times.
it's the Rains of Destruction.
That's
That's
it.
right.
Thank you.
The Sylvite Rains of Destruction.
Not to be confused, the Reigns of Castamere.
Shalu, you go over and you have a device that takes photos and whatnot, and you have marked some occasions of things.
I bet I have. Yeah, I bet
Yeah.
I know where you're going with this. Yeah, I bet I do. I bet I do.
You find and take out a photo of someone that looks very similar to Lord Bane, and you show it to the rest of them.
Excuse me?
Oh, great.
Yep.
They've been doing this for centuries now, apparently.
You don't know someone by the name of Lord Zivlin Bane.
Right. I don't.
You know someone by the name of Grimlock.
That's right.
Get down,
I
right there.
do.
Down.
Yeah, that's it. Where have we heard that name before?
That's right. I do, Mark.
Like the first name is Grimlock?
Like
Just
the
that's what he addressed himself as to
That's
Shalu.
right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And you will share with the information that with actually, you know what? Come with me over to the other channel real quick.
Damn it! Mark!
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Over to private channel real quick.
Twice in a night. We are getting spicy tonight.
Yep.
You didn't expect this lower down, but here my God, we're hitting the.
All right. It is. Ball is completely in your court. You know that it is Grimlock who is, like this person that also has the sigil of the Bane crest.
Oh, yeah.
You met him about 7 years ago.
Yep.
And 7 years ago, he came to you and with information from the Dark Rift.
Yep.
And this was very interesting to you because every time that you try to remember information based on the Dark Rift, it somehow gets scrubbed from your mind, and it is the most frustrating thing to you.
Wait a second. You just said a critical. I'm not here to be like a key NPC, but also I'm here to be a key NPC because you just said a critical sentence to me.
Yes.
You just perhaps said the most important. Didn't you say earlier there's like 7 clans or 7 moons or something? And
There's
one of them
I said there's 6 moons, but technically there's supposed to be 7 moons, and for some reason this 7th moon keeps eluding you.
Well, I've had some fucking divine inspiration as a player NPC, and the 7th moon is fucking in the Dark Rift. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. All right, we can go.
In character.
We can go back over now.
Has given me some great knowledge, and I'm about to bestow it upon all of you. Mark,
Oh, you are? Okay, I'm listening.
hit him.
All right. So he showcases a young individual, also just with a similar mask, not wearing the garb of the Bane clan, but showing the Bane clan crest on his buckle, as well as holding the Bane clan key. It looks, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a younger Lord Bane. And Shalu introduces him as a man who addressed his last name as Grimlock.
Oh, his last name is Grimlock.
His last name is Grimlock. He never gave a first name, but his last name is Grimlock.
Not even an initial?
Mm-mm. That being said, he says this was an individual who came from the Dark Rift.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Shalu, you can continue with whatever you had your inspiration said for.
He does it. He has an epiphany. He's like, "Oh my God! The 7th moon is in the Dark Rift. Of course, it all makes sense."
Where'd that come from?
This was a jump. Okay.
Yeah.
You see,
Hold on. Time out. 7? Next you tell me there's 14 fucking shards out there too?
you see.
Fuck's sake, Josh.
This whole conversation, this whole time, talking to all of you, there's been something on my mind, something that I haven't been quite able to remember. I was thinking about magic, thinking about the world, thinking about the lore. I was thinking about the moons, and how there's a key piece of information about the moons that I couldn't quite remember. And then I remembered about Grimlock, and how I thought he was so interesting, because he told me information from the Dark Rift, and he's able to remember it. But anytime I go there, it's very difficult for me to remember anything. And then I realized, that piece of information I can't remember about the moon. It's the exact same as when I go to the Dark Rift. The 7th moon is in the Dark Rift. What an epiphany. What a realization. What's the 7th moon?
This is out of character. This is Dylan being stupid.
The 7th moon is the Black Moonstone.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't know for sure because I didn't pull up my page account.
So,
Sorry.
Correct.
do you want to see the 8th moon? It has a crack in it.
God damn it.
No, I'm not interested in this.
Oh my God.
I'm interested in... This is revolutionary.
I'm gonna
The
slap
black-
Frost on the ass real quick.
The Black Moon is in the Dark Rift.
Thalashi will remember
That
that.
makes a certain amount of thematic sense, but that's still...
This is huge.
Yeah. I mean, it's a moon.
Black magic is very powerful.
And
Black
this-
Moonstone magic has to deal with rifts, portals, as well as gravity magic.
Mhm.
The group has come to understand this somewhat with gravity
Black
magic.
moonstones could take me to the moon.
My God. He sounds a little crazy, doesn't he?
He does.
I have
Who the fuck am I
proposal.
to argue with this? Like,
I have a proposal.
sure.
If I help you pay off your debt on your way to finding this purple whale, I would like to hire all of you
Oh my goodness.
to go into the Dark Rift and acquire black moonstones, which I am certain are there, or to go with me. Or, if neither of this is possible, then an audience with this Lord Bane character, who I strongly suspect is the man that I once knew in the Dark Rift, who has the ability to remember
I
information in there.
would love to have a front row seat to that
To
conversation.
see that. Yeah, I would absolutely love to see that. But before you
But
continue,
we I'm gonna
yeah.
point at Delagia. We are not of the Bane clan, so that is not our decision to make, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to see it.
Well,
I also-
They are of the Bane clan, so
I've
that,
offered several options. Hiring, I could pay you in, items or materials. You could, you could escort me in, and I could go myself, or I could get this audience. But I'm very interested. And aren't you interested in going to the moon? There's a great deal of knowledge and wealth there.
Well, listen,
Of
at
course.
this point, I'm willing to just say, no guts, no glory. So, you obviously
I find
want
it
to work with
personal.
us, and we have some good things to earn out of it. So, team, and Ross will look at the party. What do you say? We go dungeon diving for a little bit, get this man what he needs, get paid, and start doing things legend.
we have I will say we do have a bit of a list to get through.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
piled on really.
Thank you! Somebody said it! Thank you! We're
Make it
literally
extra-
Now,
doing something very important right now!
do not get me wrong. This is fascinating. This is absolutely
seventh-
fascinating. Yeah, no, it's absolutely fucking boggles the mind, which is
We
already
are
been.
this fucking close to finding my father. This fucking close. And now you want to sidetrack? Now you want to do something else?
How about this? An exchange. We do this dungeon. You do your thing. I'm going to go with you. I'll be spending at least a week with you. I'll help you find your father. I'll help you hit your immediate pressing issues. You help me with the seventh moon. Yes?
Alright.
I will help you. I will full blast help you with whatever it is that you want to do. You now have my full interest. I would like to. You want me to fight things for you? I will blast them. They will go. Your father, he will be found. The seventh moon, critical. Your agenda, I will solve this for you. But you will come with me to investigate the seventh moon and to arrive at the moon.
All right, but once, as Delashi said, we got to get through our list first. We get through that list, and when everything opens up, we'll be along for the ride.
We will go.
The agreement.
We will conquer your list. Yes.
Yeah, we'll go to the moon, but I gotta take care of some errands first.
It's like a grocery list.
The side
A
quests
very
will be
important
hidden.
grocery list, but it's what it sounds like in a scale of things. It's like if someone offered me a ticket to Mars, and it's like, yeah, but I gotta do the dishes.
We will do the dishes.
My father that I've lost for years that we're literally about to where this is the closest we've ever been.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I just love like the idea of it. Like this isn't like a once in a lifetime opportunity, but hole up. Like,
Our family reunion you attend. My God, the fucking
I'm not dismissing the importance of this
Uh-huh.
moment
No.
at all. Like, actually, like, legitimately, I'm not. It just the way the scenario plays out in my head just makes it so fucking funny for me.
Mark, well, I know you didn't see this coming, but I've got every plot reason to throw my weight
No.
behind them now.
I fully expected. Funny enough. All right. So this whole conversation, I didn't expect it to go this far because I hoped it would. I was hoping because this addresses. I'm going to blanket statement right here. Since we have 10 minutes left in the stream, I have 3 consistent story arcs going throughout Arcadia, and I've mentioned this to some of my players before. There is story arc A, story arc B, and story arc C. We were at A and B. We were consistently at A and B. We have now finally hit C. So we have now hit all 3 story arcs that are going. Now proceed. Anyway.
I appreciate the chaotic energy. It's great. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyways, so Shadow says, "Okay, well, excellent. Is there anything else that we would like to discuss before I go and upgrade your things and marvel at the revelation of the?"
Well, I know that I agreed, and Veros did. Mordecai, you did as well as Lisha.
Oh yes, this is very important.
Yeah, of course. I'm always down.
The crew is on board.
It's a very casual
Excellent.
attitude for diving
Well,
into like.
while I work on all of your weapons, if you could clearly itemize your list of things that you must do, like finding your father and going into this whale and whatever else you have on your list, that I can read it upon my return, I think that will be a beneficial use of your time and mine.
Yeah, sure.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Grocery list time.
Grocery list time. Beautiful. Well, I'll be on. And he's gonna go be on. Sorry for eating your whole session here. I got it.
Netfiend,
No, it's been
I
great.
rolled your test of fate. We're going to save that for next time.
Ashley did it too.
I did. Ashley's the primary reason why something else happened. Don't worry about it.
So, in short, we're probably coming up with some solution, and either. Oh, the option was leave it with him and hope it doesn't bite us in the ass, or take him with us and hope it doesn't bite us in the ass. Looks like we're going up option B there.
Hey, you want a
Figure it
powerful
out.
archmage that knows all this
Figure it out.
magic?
Yeah, we figured out a bunch about some stuff about Eris, a bunch about the Sylvites.
So much stuff.
We're getting upgrades.
Yeah.
That's neat. Ross and I each downed a flask during that conversation. Different points. Bip can fly upright. That happened.
He's growing. He's a growing boy.
Bip obtained ultimate power,
One of these.
upright
One of
flight.
these. Hit me with a flippy flap, Bip.
Flap,
Yeah,
flap, flap, flap.
Yeah.
Going all Flappy Bird on you.
We're going on a dungeon run. We're paying off a debt. Shit. It's one thing I was going to ask at some point, either him or us. The original reason we came here, is that even a factor at this point? We were going to get paid for info, paid for bringing back tech, and paid for rescue of anyone here who needed it. I don't think we'll be able to do that third one if what he's told us is true.
Probably
About-
not.
The
Yeah.
fate.
That's probably.
We'll probably find tech and artifacts and whatnot in the dungeon if we still go in.
Didn't he say he wanted to keep artifacts?
No, anything that's like super old, like
Yeah, so-
like thousands of years old.
So he'll take his pick of the litter, and we get to keep the rest, is what I'm hearing. And we get paid for info, which I believe Shalou will want us to tailor very specifically, but we're giving them info. I think that meets our contract. Unless there's other survivors scrabbling around that Shalou isn't aware of, which somehow I doubt, seeing as how he knew the instant we set foot here. Or at least not any survivors in any state that would be able to go back, I suppose. Which, hopefully that's not the case, but... Shalou has said several times he is a man of science, and I know both sides of that coin from personal experience, so... Hopefully he's on the better side of it, but... Either way, he seems willing to help us. Yes?
Oh man. Yep.
This was a lot to take in.
This was a hell of a lot.
of information.
If you haven't tuned in a while, this is the episode to watch, apparently, because we looked up everything from the start to now, and geez.
This was a very big recap.
A recap. This
And
was a fucking...
A recap and also learning things. So it very story. Very story.
Yeah, this is a very story-driven, like, meta-evolution episode. The whale we're going for is a fucking gigas.
Yep.
If the dots track.
This can confirm.
Jesus.
I'm sorry for raising my voice. We keep getting sidetracked.
When did you raise your voice? Oh, about your father. No,
Yes.
that was at the top of the list. You
Yes.
didn't really raise your voice. You put a little emphasis behind your words.
No more sidetracks, please. Please.
This is important for you.
Not at all. All right. I think we can end there. We could stop. Thank you all. You've learned valuable information. You gain new things. You have, once again, like always, multiple different directions and avenues to go, but you do have a course of heading. Because not only do you still need to find Dalashi's father, you need to absolve yourself of the contracts from Arthur of the Bane clan.
Mm-hmm. Which we can't even put in fine writing at this point, because every time we tried,
Yeah, exactly.
but I think he is aware of it.
He is aware of it. Shalu is aware of that. That's also why he knows that is an important mission.
Yep.
And it's also a source of intrigue, because while he can't, at the moment...
No. It's not just a source of intrigue. It's a double source of intrigue. Because that guy's from the Bane clan, the same Bane clan that Grimlock is the leader of. Very interesting.
That's also true. Yep. There's a lot of check marks. A lot of dots.
Can I
It's
ask
like the conspiracy board with all of the strings attaching,
Yep.
and we just attached a shit ton of strings.
Can I ask one clarification question I meant to ask during that conversation? How old is that picture?
That picture is about 7 years old.
Of Grimlock.
Yep.
The person you said he bumped into a long time ago, or did I?
Yep. It is about 7 years.
Okay. Not what I expected. Alright. Holy fuck.
Yeah. Bradford, you need a board? I got plenty. Well, we got the Mord board.
Oh yeah, I gotta update the board. I guess that's my job, huh? Fuck.
Yep.
I mean, it is the Mord board.
Yeah.
As we come back next time, your weapons will be upgraded. The dungeon crawl will finally begin. And expect solid combat, traps, and tricks. I will say, for the purpose, at least for the dungeon, Shalu will be going to prep for things, anything that he needs with him, while you guys go explore the rest of the dungeon.
Are we gonna get our whip? Or like our
Yeah, you're going to
back?
get all your weapons
Yeah.
back, so you'll have them all enchanted,
like-
getting ready into the dungeon.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Thank you, our guest, Black Knight, and thank you as well, my wonderful cast and crew. And finally, thank you everybody for watching the stream. I hope you all had a fun time. I hope it was a good session for you all. And yeah, we'll see what happens next time on the Arcadian campaign. Spoiler: a lot of combat. This is Heroes Legacy signing out. Bye.
Bye.
Let's
Well,
get
that was definitely a good session to get back in the swing of things.
It was.
good reminders of things, good shares. I enjoyed giving you the timer reminder. That was a fun, like, hey, here you go, explain these things. 3 minutes, go.
Oh yeah, you have a note taker? Note take this. Ah!
Oh my god.
Well, that was wild. Thanks for letting me guest star again. Sorry, like I said, I ate up your whole session, but it was very fun.
No,
No need to apologize. This is great.
this was and then you're superpowering us and
That's
taking
right.
every chance you can to do so. So you're good in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat. While we're
talking about potential uses of powers and stuff, I was thinking when he was going on about like sleeping gases and stuff like that. The poison cloud I generate with green magic, is that flammable?
Ooh.
You can make it flammable.
You could.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I figure like a poison cloud that lingers just enough to get like concentrated into some of the poison damage, and then just really mustanging it. Just
In theory, how magic works in this world, and this is part of what Shao has explained, is if you study the principle of the spell that you're casting long enough, you can modify its components or find ways to make it alterable. So it may not initially be flammable, but if you study the spell long enough, you may find a way to condense it to become flammable enough, or find ways around this.
Correct.
So if you have a creative idea on your magic, slap that bitch in, and then you'll find a way to probably make it happen.
I also had an idea for Niscultro, the spell that lets us conjure copies of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally my brain is like, okay, so I get like an extra weapon in my hand that I can like throw and not worry about, I guess, and that was where I thought the implication was. But could I potentially use that mid-swing to make like the best way I want to describe this is like an after image of my weapon, so like it hits and then the Niscultro hits and does more damage.
Sorry, say that one quick second.
So with Niscultro, it's on paper it makes copies of weapons.
Correct.
Is this something I could potentially like use on my weapon as I'm swinging it and have it like potentially effectively hit twice, so like have like an after image of like it just hits harder?
Possibly down the line.
Okay.
At its current form now.
Okay.
Mark,
Well, I'm willing to study into it. I'm just trying to like find applications for it, or like if I'm pulling my bowstring and I Niscultro my arrow as I fire it.
You could Niscultro an arrow and fire 2 arrows.
Okay. I'm thinking like, and like stop me if I'm wrong, but like the more I thought about it, especially as magic was being like explained and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, can I potentially do like the dual casting thing and make like elemental copies of shit that isn't the element it's supposed to be, or down the line if I like really switch gears to specialize in the magic, use it to go full like Gilgamesh from Fate and just like Gate of Babylon shit with this Niscultro.
Those are possibilities.
You can technically do that, right? You time this, you preload the spell, then you proc it on a timer, then you're casting the spell on a timer in a specific location to, like Babylon-esque, create like 1,000 swords. Just boom.
Especially if I combine it with the quill. And like, alright, Niscultro dagger here in the air, Niscultro dagger here in the air, set these to go off. Now.
Yep. You're almost at the right endeavor to make it broken.
Okay. Like, I'm not trying to make it broken, I'm just trying to
No, I when I made this spell, I had one specific idea in mind.
Would you like to enlighten me since I haven't really
Nope,
used it?
I'm waiting.
No, he will not.
Alright, just checking. I figured I'd ask.
You're on the right track. I'll at least let you know that.
Alright. Neat. Alright, I'll think about that.
Oh man.
Also, we were thinking about potentially getting like a purple stone for Mordecai and putting it into Colton Gauntlet.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I could hook people, and if it doesn't get purchased, it just whacks them. I can freeze it to them, or I can use that for traversal. So if I like, if I'm trying to scale like a metal wall or something where like the hook can't like dig in, I just have to like slap it against the side and freeze it in place.
Oh,
So I thought about